Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup.
Harvest season is here, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade now. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends September 30th, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
It's game on at Elway Powersports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Powersports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season. Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Husker Nation. Now is the time.
Holy moly! Man, woman, and child did that. Put them in the aisle.
Diving touchdown, Nebraska.
Does he have enough? Is it long enough?
It's going to be tipped. It's gone.
How many tackles can one man break?
He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's on the way.
Totally unbelievable.
It's game day in Lincoln, America. And this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is powered by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Powersports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show starts now.
Good morning and welcome to game day in Lincoln, Nebraska. Huskers, Wolverines kicking off Big Ten conference play in 3.5 hours at Memorial Stadium. I am Jake Sorensen. He is Steve Sipple. And there's been reports that the Marty party was not enough yesterday. So we are blessed for the second straight year for at one point to have the Marty party. Marty Sipple in studio.
Thank you, Jake.
Marty's.
I remember I was here last year.
And what happened last year,
and
Marty?
you had your shirt on that said, "Not this year, Ralphie."
I did. Not today, Ralphie was the shirt. I had that shirt on. You were right. And that shirt worked out well.
Yeah, it went down well.
I have worn that shirt since that day. Not for Colorado games, but I've worn it. But that was a great day.
That was a great day.
We hope today's even better as Nebraska takes on Michigan at 2:30 at Memorial Stadium.
And we have another friend in the
introduce
studio.
us to your friend, Marty. Who do we have here?
I have with me another friend of mine from Tallahassee, Florida, Bruce Culpepper.
Hello, guys.
He's
Glad to be here.
A lawyer and a judge in Tallahassee.
A judge.
So be careful.
Be careful
Yeah.
indeed.
Careful.
Behave. I'll start banging heads.
I've never appeared before you. As far as I know.
Never again.
Jake, I want to address one thing.
Please do.
I've never heard your voice like that.
I'm pumped up. It's game day,
Never
man.
heard it like you sound like a Wolverine.
I went growling. I growled.
You growled.
I growled.
You
on
went
there.
with growl.
Listen, this is a big game. Nebraska's a 1.5 point dog. We're trying to get over the hump and end this disgustingly terrible 27-game losing streak to ranked teams back to 2016. And by the way, that win was against Oregon, who finished that year at 4-8. So it wasn't even legitimately a ranked team you beat. At that time, they were. But it wasn't a good team.
I'll add something so these guys wouldn't know. Marty and Bruce are friends. My brother Marty, his friend Bruce, my friend Bruce now.
Our friend Bruce.
Royce Freeman went.
Thank you,
Royce
guys.
Freeman in Oregon had a great running back named Royce Freeman. Do you remember Royce Freeman?
I remember
Reggie?
the name.
Royce Freeman was a great running back that year. He went down in like the second series. So, yeah, it wasn't – I thought at that point Nebraska was going to be in good shape. And that's the last time they beat a ranked team.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the last time Nebraska's beaten a ranked team.
Well, we're walking around
what's going
streets
on?
of Lincoln, and my question is, has anybody had a Connor Stallion sighting?
Well, you never know. It's
He's
early.
here.
It's early. He's
here.
Is he
Oh,
here?
he's here.
Where's he at?
He's with Bustin' and the boys.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
He's with Will Compton, Taylor Luan. So they have a big production, and legitimately Connor Stallions is here.
He's there.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Well, maybe he'll walk in our studio and we can talk to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
You know who would be pissed if that happened? Bill. He'd be like, Bill Bush, our co-host, would love nothing more than to have like a 6-hour sit down with Connor Stallions just to talk about all things, how he did it, how he's doing it.
I also get the feeling you'd like to have a 6-hour sit down with Marty.
But that can happen.
And then Marty, look at that. Now I didn't see that sign until right now.
What's the sign? I'll show the people out there. That sign says more Marty, less sip outside.
See, he's upstaging me at this point.
We also had a sign.
It only took a couple appearances in there. Now they're calling for Marty. That's wonderful. Yeah, this is it for you, by the way. So really enjoy it.
Okay, this is it.
It's the last one.
Swan song.
Yes, the swan
song.
But you know
Swan
what?
song.
If Nebraska wins, though, and Marty has now he's in 2 straight years of big wins, I don't think we can just say goodbye to Marty.
I just said Swans. I just said it. I just said we're saying
I've
goodbye.
got to say no if they win the game.
Apparently, you're not listening to me. At
Good
this
luck if they win. The thing. Well, this is, by the way, the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Always honest answers. A1 Automotive, 11th and L, also now at 5110 State Hill Drive in South Lincoln. We have a lot to get to in these 25 minutes. So Nebraska, as of right now, I just checked it before we went on the air, still 1.5 point underdogs, 47.5 the over-under in this game.
47.5 is a good number. It's a really good number.
Good number.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to get to the essence of the game. I mean, I envision a tight game. It's hard to know exactly. I mean, why if it weren't a tight game, it would be what? It would be because Nebraska can't handle their run game.
Right.
Right.
I don't do you see a world where Nebraska blows out Michigan today? I don't see
the
that.
only world that I would the only thing that I hear, I hear from all these guys that watch the practice tape and the game tape from the coaches' view. There's a lot of sentiment that Michigan's really not very good. Now, but Nebraska's not exactly Georgia right now.
No.
So you hear a lot of we don't think so. Yeah, we don't think so. But you hear a lot of sort of this is not even close to Harbaugh. And then we had that gentleman on our show yesterday who seemed very hesitant.
Bill Simonson, from the huge show Michigan Sports Network. He was, not entirely a fan of right now what's going on with Michigan.
Right.
But again, he obviously mocked the Jim Harbaugh, the suspensions, and said that that's not a great look for Michigan. But listen, they won the title. But you could just tell, like you said, if you looked at the talent between Nebraska and Michigan, he said, would you take all Michigan talent over Nebraska? He said, no,
you wouldn't.
He says Nebraska might have more talent than Michigan does right now.
Well, it's odd. It's odd, guys. Like Nebraska, you guys are older gentlemen, 50s, right? In your 50s.
Plus.
Yeah, 50 plus. So you remember Nebraska when it was a big time running program.
Absolutely.
Now you look at Nebraska's receivers and you would say Nebraska has better receivers than Michigan. They do. And I will tell you, they 100% do, which I don't know that I ever thought I'd say it, but they do.
That's interesting. I said this yesterday on the show.
Okay.
And I said, I'll say it again today on the show. I think that this game comes down to our ability to stop their run game.
Yeah.
If they're going to run
That's
it.
right.
I was here 2 years ago.
Of the game.
2 years ago, and they just ran us down. Ran it down the middle. And 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2. And if we can get them into 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, I think we got a chance to win.
Yeah, and get to 3rd down.
Yeah.
And get to 3rd and medium or long.
Yeah, I hate to bring that game up, but that was a 28-0 halftime deficit. I mean, Nebraska lost 45-7. They had a Josh Fleeks touchdown to avoid the shutout late in the 4th quarter.
Yes.
That was the only play ever made by Josh Fleeks, was a long run to avoid the shutout. That was just a depressing dismantling of Nebraska football. I mean, because that team, J.J. McCarthy, didn't love the receivers that much. They weren't a great passing team. They were fine, but they had the great plays in the end zone where I think, was it Roman Wilson had the touchdown over one of the guys' back?
Yeah. That was a great catch.
Okay. And then he had McCarthy seen in the 3rd quarter kissing his girlfriend in the stands.
Yeah, he was down. He was
disheartening.
Yeah, he was literally, his girlfriend came down from the stands and they were making out.
But I don't think that's this year. I think
Better not be.
I think this year's, like you guys said, a close game.
I think so.
Close game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think it's a Dylan drives down the field on the last drive and sets us up for a winning field goal.
Oh, that'd be
That's
good.
what
Well, imagine all the demons there. Number one, if that's the case, you win a close game for the second time this year. You end the streak against a ranked teams, and you prove that special teams can win a football game for you.
Right.
Yes.
Which has been a huge
100%.
problem. I mean,
Jake.
a huge reason why you lose close games all these years is number one is not being clutch enough offensively, but also number two, not getting the big kick you need or the big play in special teams, and that has been a problem for years. So if they came down to that scenario, you would have a massive monkey off your back,
Yeah.
a massive party in Lincoln, and I'm joining it.
Would you?
You can find me outside. Call me.
Oh,
We'll party.
100%. Marty,
Guaranteed.
you guys, Marty and Bruce, you guys, yeah, it would be. Well, you'll see a wild scene in
Yes.
Lincoln.
Yes.
Especially if it would come down to a close type of game, and Nebraska wins, like Jake said, or you suggested. Yeah, it would
Now,
be wild.
think about this for a second. This is Bruce's first ever time in
This is-
Nebraska.
Yes.
Bruce Culpepper,
Bruce Culpepper.
a friend of Marty from Tallahassee. I'm jealous because I'm envious. If this is your first ever time and you get to witness Nebraska, number one, beat Michigan, and number two, see the party before and after that, you're going to think this is the greatest state ever, which is a great state. But it might even go unbeatable best state, Bruce. I'm saying that right now.
Do you already think we're the greatest state ever?
Well, my first impression is the red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out red. Everybody wears red.
Yeah.
Out and proud red. You cannot hide red.
Right.
I'm thoroughly impressed. And everybody I've met here, super nice.
Yeah.
As you say, I've never been to Nebraska. Never been.
Never
to-
been.
Never been.
Never
In
stepped
any
foot.
context.
Welcome to our
In any
humble
context.
abode.
You've never been in. Really?
Well, what you say? Why?
Yeah. Why would you go to Nebraska?
He's a Florida,
You want me to
he's
say
a
it?
Florida guy. Who vacations to
We're a
Nebraska from Florida?
We're a flyover state.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I do have questions. For
Okay.
the two
Oh,
of
You want? You, would
But
he?
please do. Yeah, go ahead.
Can
Bruce.
we have Bruce
We
Culpepper?
can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We get cross-examined.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Bruce.
that's it. This is
Yeah.
me on the stand.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, loyal listeners, here I am with the Sipple brothers.
Yes.
1 on 2
Yeah.
questions you've always wanted to know. I'm just going to throw this out.
Scary, Marty.
You guys, yeah.
I'm not. I don't know that.
Okay.
I'm
The
completely
Marty
ready
Marty.
for this, but go ahead.
All right.
Bruce.
So the first question, because it's a long flight from here, from Florida. All right. And this one I think I answered, but is there corn in Nebraska?
I'll let you take that one.
There's a lot. We're surrounded by corn. This city
This
is
is the corn
surrounded by
Huskers
corn.
state.
Okay.
Did you-
All right. All
All right,
right.
yeah, mark that.
Checking
We're off
that
to a
off.
rough-
We're
When
off
you're
to a
dri-
rough
hey, when
start.
you're driving to the airport, you guys flew into Omaha, right?
We did.
Yeah, you'll see corn all over.
Okay.
If you-
We'll point it out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like,
Yeah.
but it's,
Wow.
Okay.
You know what corn looks like?
No, it's okay. There's a lot of things.
I'm just making sure I heard that correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm
Marty,
Marty.
don't.
I got orange trees.
Okay.
That's all I'm
Right,
saying.
now, so-
okay. All right, fair.
Jake,
That's
there's
fair.
things in Florida
I'm
we
just
wouldn't know
making
what
sure.
they
I
are.
was,
either.
I was making sure I heard that
And
correctly.
Mickey Mouse, you drive down Orlando, you see the big, Epcot thing. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what that is.
We
All
do.
right.
There's things we don't know about Florida, so I'm
True.
with you on that. Okay.
All right. Number 2. All right. Y'all can fight over this one. Okay. Speaking of flying in. So why did Peyton Manning use the audible Omaha?
Oh, no, that's a good question.
Is he selling steaks or insurance?
That's a good question. He has addressed that before. I do not know if I remember his answer on that. But all I know is he's now it's the Omaha brand that he's a part of with Peyton Manning Productions, basically. So
It has to do with that.
but he was doing that before he was actually doing that.
Oh,
Like, he
okay.
was playing. That was
Oh,
what it was
never
called. Omaha, stand up.
We don't
Okay.
know.
We don't know the answer to that.
It may not
okay.
be that interesting, so don't worry. About
Okay.
it.
We'll let that one go. All right. This one.
There's a Wolverine
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
There's a
There
Wolverine.
you go. He's flexing too.
Now he's flexing.
I'm showing on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Easy,
we got a
Marty.
Husker out there too.
Yeah.
Easy, Marty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got
we're-
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
All
now
right, Bruce, can you continue?
All right.
Question
now
3.
this one may go to Marty.
Okay, this is Marty.
Okay. Why did Bruce Springsteen name the album of his most depressing song,
Well,
Nebraska?
geez, these are tough questions.
Marty, lock in. What's the answer?
Yeah, this is a good question.
These are good questions. Well,
Okay.
the Springsteen answer, I think, has to do with the fact that he was going through a rough patch in his life.
Nebraska,
Okay.
And he
Okay.
somehow became
Okay.
intrigued by the Charlie Starkweather situation.
Right.
And that guy went into a little bit of a problem in his life
Sure.
too. And so that's how it came out. I think it was a sort of a psychological study.
Okay.
Bruce, one thing I'd add to that discussion, Springsteen would come to Lincoln incognito and go to the Journal Stars library and research it.
Oh,
nobody even knew.
I didn't know that.
He just come in and nobody even noticed him.
Okay.
I got to comment some real quick because this is a comment I got my personal text line, the YouTube chat text line. People are concerned that Bruce has never seen corn before. and frankly, I'm 34 years old. I am from the Midwest. I'm also concerned, Bruce.
I'm not.
Okay.
Like I've seen I've seen an orange tree before. I'm not here.
Okay.
I've seen one. Bruce, have you ever eaten corn before?
It's all,
You surely eaten corn.
It's yellow. It's a yellow food.
not white.
Popcorn.
There's
You've
some
had
white. There is
Popcorn. Popcorn.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Popcorn.
This is a judge.
This is good.
All right,
This is
you
really
judge, Your Honor.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah.
All right.
One more.
All right. Okay.
One more.
We got
last,
some.
last one.
All right.
Okay. Well, here's one. So my memory of Nebraska football, long time ago.
Okay.
So does Nebraska still run the wishbone?
No.
No. The answer is no.
It's a resounding no.
Well,
Now,
they have face masks here too. I mean, we do the face mask thing.
I will say this, Bruce. Nebraska is celebrating the 30-year anniversary of the Huskers, the team winning the title. So that team had a little wish, but they had run game, option, power.
It wasn't wishbone.
It wasn't wishbone, but they did. But it
More
was
of an Oklahoma
It
thing.
was a resemblance of a very strong rushing attack, which we'd like to see that again at Nebraska.
Now, who's going to be here?
God bless
Who's going
you,
to be
Bruce.
here, Jake, for the 95 celebration? Do you have
Everybody.
Yeah, a lot of
I
the
mean,
players.
I saw some pictures from our own Terrell Farley was there. Who'll be there? Jay Foreman was. I mean, there's a lot of guys.
Do you remember
guys.
Farley and Foreman?
Yeah.
Farley was an outside linebacker.
Tommy Frazier was there.
Tommy
at the
Frazier in town?
celebration. Yeah.
Okay. I do have, if you'll let me,
Yeah.
Jake. So you've set me up here, and I'm staring at a picture of the Florida-Nebraska
Yes, I see
95
that right there.
championship.
Yeah.
And so my only memory is that guy that we tried to tackle and hit, and he just kept running.
Lawrence Phillips.
Okay.
Lawrence Phillips.
Lawrence
Okay.
Phillips?
It was awful.
Yeah. It was a rough night
awful
for you.
It was good for Nebraska,
That was
though.
awful.
Not
Yeah.
awful.
So you're a Gator. Bruce is a Gator, Jake.
Well,
Yeah,
Gators,
not-
the
He's not a
Gators,
Seminole. He's
the
a Gator.
Gators have a tough one today to
Have a
avoid going
relatively
1-3.
big game tonight.
Yeah, Miami. Yep, Cristobal was on game day. I saw they had him have they're drinking some sort of spiked coffee this morning. Cafecito. Have you ever heard of Cafecito?
I did see that. I did see
You know what that is?
It's Cuban. It's Cuban.
Apparently, it really is some powerful
yeah.
stuff. You know
Rocket
what I mean?
fuel.
Rocket fuel.
We should establish. Bruce, can I say who your brother is?
Of course.
His brother is Brad Culpepper.
Brad Culpepper.
So-
We did some research. Brad was a former NFL player. Also was on Survivor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, twice.
On
Made
Survivor.
second place. Yeah.
This was
Oh, you can go on twice in Survivor. What is
That
this?
It's Hollywood. That's
Okay,
all it is.
that's true.
Who they bring in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
yeah,
that's his background there.
Yeah.
That's so a little familiar with football, championship football,
Yes, you are.
pro football, college football.
Oh, you're very familiar with it,
Okay.
Judge.
Thank you
And
for
do we
the,
do address you as Judge Culpepper?
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
Your Honor. Let's get this right here.
Yeah.
Please
Okay,
trust
Your
me.
Honor.
It's
Yeah.
not Bruce.
Right.
It's not
No.
Sir. It's Your Honor here.
That makes me nervous when I'm
Please.
sitting in front of judges.
And,
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for the questions.
Those were
Your
good.
Honor.
Those are
all right.
good.
All right.
Those were excellent.
Now,
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm serious.
It's
Those
the first
are
time
good.
in Nebraska got questioned. Now, regarding the game itself today,
Mhm.
Nebraska, Dylan Raiola has looked very good so far. 8 touchdowns, no picks, 76.6% completion percentage. He's been exceptional. Again, 2 bad teams in Akron and Houston Christian, but also 1 decent team, I think, in Cincinnati. I think Cincy will be middle of the pack, if not upper level.
Do you?
Big 12. I do.
You're
I
giving them
I
respect.
do give them respect. I think they'll be fine. But the point is, in that game, he didn't have a turnover. A national TV first
Mhm.
game of the year, had a fumble, got it back, no picks. Let's see
No
that
picks.
trend. If you win this game today, you cannot be losing the turnover battle by more than 2. I would
No,
say.
you can't. There's a game within a game, guys, that's very interesting today. It's Dylan Raiola, who I'd say is 19 or 20, versus the 62-year-old defensive
Wink
coordinator.
Martindale.
Yeah, Wink Martindale from Michigan. And it is a little game within a game. Martindale's sort of MO is pressure. I mean, he's a good pressure defensive coordinator. He'll bring it. Dylan hasn't been hit much this year. Jake, did he get hit at all last week?
No, I don't think he did.
He hasn't been hit much
Is it
really at
2
all.
sacks so far? Is it?
Yeah,
2?
he hasn't hardly been hit at all. Now he's gonna get hit today, and
Dylan will get hit.
there'll be pressure packages. Also, Martindale is, he paints what they say is he paints pictures in the secondary, and then he'll change that picture quickly at post snap. Dylan, though, is a savant. He's a extremely intelligent quarterback. I mean, high-end intelligence, has high-end latitude at the line of scrimmage, probably more than 90% of the quarterbacks in the country, more freedom. So that's something to watch. I don't think it'll look like Cincinnati. I don't think Michigan will be in a 3-deep shell, let just making him dink and dunk it. I think he's going to have to make some throws against man.
Yep, I'd agree.
Now, what about the running back situation for Nebraska?
What do you think about it?
Well, I think
this is where you need to chime in.
I'm concerned that Emmett's going to have too much of a load. I mean, I don't know if he can carry the ball 30 times.
Well, why not?
Well,
there's an off week next week.
It's true.
I hope he, if he does, I hope he gets 150 yards.
Now, Emmett
150. If he gets 150, it's a W.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, here's the thing. Emmett Johnson, week 1 against Cincinnati, to the same point. I mean, had 25 carries. Otherwise, you had Mekhi Nelson 2 carries and Mosey had 1. I mean, you had 3 carries besides Emmett of 28 in that game. Emmett had 32 touches. He had 7 catches against Cincinnati as well. I would expect that to be the same case again. You'll see Emmett Johnson very involved in the pass game as well.
100%. I mean, one way you beat pressures was screen passes. And if you remember that, the game, Frost maybe shining moment it would have been had they beaten Michigan that year.
No.
What year was it?
That was 2022.
2022. See,
21.
2021. Marty, you remember this game? Nebraska took Michigan to the wire.
I remember that.
And that was
the third quarter was Scott Frost shining moment. They lost the game, but he called an unbelievable third quarter in that football game.
And what was happening in that game was a lot of Michigan pressure. It wasn't Martindale, but they were bringing a lot of heat. Screen game. Remember Romare Johnson? Romare Johnson had a great.
He had a wheel route in that game.
Which was
a gorgeous play.
Right. So that's how you combat. That's one way you combat pressure. So you might see a lot of that. Now, I would back to Emmett Johnson, Marty. There's no reason you can't load him up. I think it'll look like Cincinnati, 25 carries.
Okay.
He got 108 that night.
108, yeah.
108. He caught 7 balls that night, 7 passes for, I think, 27 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have that kind of game. Okay. I don't think you'll see a backup.
I agree with that.
You might see a backup early. Like you might see Ives come in for a play or 2. But I think you just load up Emmett, and then you have an off week next week. Does that make sense?
It seems to me they have to rely on the big tight ends as well, not just
Marty
wide out.
Listen to you. The tie, I mean, yes,
over the middle.
Lindenmeyer, I think.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they can get
and
Harburg.
maybe your guy, Heinrich Harburg. Yeah,
they might be able to get Harburg loose. We haven't seen a lot of that, and
I haven't seen a lot. Maybe they're saving it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be. I think that very well could be. You've seen Carter Nelson. Hell, he played, I think, 27 snaps last week, and they never looked at him. Now they might look at him today. Might happen.
Yeah, you're going to have to. You got to be creative. Michigan's defense is not what it was in previous years. They're still very good. They're not. I mean, think about last year. They lose 2 first-round picks in the defensive line. Kenneth Grant went 13th to the Dolphins. Mason Graham went 5th where he went to, but he went 5th overall. That's your defensive line. 2 guys
in the middle of the line that went first round.
Both.
Now, they don't have that kind of explosive talent up front, but they have blocks of granite and about 12 of them.
Wow.
So they shuttle them in and out.
I like that description.
Yeah. Well,
they're
hard
very
to
good
move.
visual.
They're hard to move. And that's Marty, you're a Husker fan, and I want you and Bruce to have a good time today. But I'm going to tell you, I think you're in for sort of like a long day. It's going to be a hard game.
Hard fought.
Yeah, hard game.
I don't see a 28-0 halftime lead like it was against Colorado. If it is, I will.
Was it? What was it against Colorado?
28-0.
Was it 28-0?
So the last 2 times Marty's been here was 28-0 deficit to Michigan, and last year was 28-0 in favor of Nebraska against Colorado.
Yes, that's right.
So
this year, you're probably right. This year will probably even out, and it'll be close at half.
Probably, I would think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before I get to our prediction, a couple plugs here. If you come by 1040 O Street right now, we got Colby Ridge popcorn. The Boy Scouts are out selling popcorn.
That's popcorn, Bruce.
This is popcorn.
Bruce, that's popcorn.
And this is cheese and caramel popcorn.
And that grows out of the ground.
Yeah, it does.
It grows out of the ground.
It does. Okay. It absolutely
Not
grows
out of the trees. Like
it's all around our city.
Okay.
You can buy this outside the studio. It goes to the Cub Scouts. Please go buy some. There's regular popcorn, caramel, and cheese mix as well. And our guy, Darren Burgers, our friend from Raising Cane's, dropped off a load of Raising Cane's chicken to us. It's on the table here. Thank you to Darren. He wants me to let you know that they've got a tailgate party. There's music from 1 to 2:30, and then also there's DJ D Love after the game at 14th and P. downtown, please stop by. Raising Cane's is a big part of game day in Lincoln and across the country. Now, before we get out of here, official picks. We'll go with Your Honor, Bruce first.
Bruce Culpepper.
Your first ever time to Nebraska, not just Lincoln, but to Nebraska. Are you walking away with the win in your first time here, Bruce?
Of course. So my prediction,
okay,
true to the course, 28-0 Nebraska.
Oh my God. Bruce, if it's 28-0, I will be.
You're calling a shutout.
It's me till 3 a.m.
Yeah, 28-0.
All right.
We'll be rolling in popcorn.
Okay.
Hey, I like the
Bruce,
Marty.
I have, as I indicated earlier, I have Nebraska 31-28 on a last-second field goal.
But Kyle Cunanan.
Yes,
you're calling for Kyle Cunanan. How long about? Well, give me a range there.
48.
Whoa!
Boom. That's a kick.
They might.
They've stormed the field. They've stormed for sure. But it's that kind of game they'd storm.
And I would be remiss if I didn't make a pick for Angie, my wife's team.
Okay.
In the Iron Skillet Bowl tonight.
What the hell is that?
SMU will beat TCU on the road.
The Iron Skillet.
I'm sorry. What's going to happen? Who's winning that game?
SMU beats TCU on the road.
Oh God. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you have to say that though. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your picks, Tim?
I like Nebraska to win this game. I do think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a long day though. I think it's going to be 4 quarters. I think Nebraska fans are going to be worn out afterwards. It's not going to be. Nothing's going to be easy today. But I like Marty's score. I'm just going to go a little lower, 31-24, Nebraska.
Wow. I'll make it 4-for-4, Nebraska, 24-21. It's been a very trendy pick. I'm going with the trend. Nebraska, 24-21. Party in Lincoln. The Marty party continues throughout the night. And we might have to talk to you next week after that, Marty, because, I mean.
Jeez, this is getting ridiculous.
Well, listen,
do we have to talk to him next
week?
He's
good luck. He's clearly good luck. There goes the band outside.
There goes the band.
That's it for us. We'll send it off to Nick and Jay at the Kindler. More of the pregame show
Great
next.
job, guys.
937.
Great job.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank
Marty.
you, guys.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
It's game on at Elway Powersports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier powersports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Powersports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance. Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits.
Welcome back in. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. This segment live from the patio of the Kindler Hotel. Nick Sainert alongside Jay Foreman. This segment of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show brought to you by our friends at Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits. Are you looking for the perfect sip in Lincoln? Head to Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street, where walk-in humidor meets a temperature-controlled wine cellar and shelves bursting with over 3,000 wines, 2,000 spirits, and 1,500 beers and seltzers. They are open daily over there at Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, so make sure you stop in and elevate your next pour. Nick Sainert, as mentioned, alongside the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Jay, let's start with this. Big day for you guys because as a member of the 1995 team, you guys getting honored pregame It's already been announced publicly. You guys are going to have a tunnel walk before the team.
Oh, okay.
Kind of. Okay, you didn't know?
No.
Okay, well, you guys are going to have a tunnel walk before the team. Kind of just walk us through. It's been 30 years, man.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
No, I can't, man. It's I remember, I remember particularly after the Oklahoma game, walking back, because where my dad was kind of parked down this way, and obviously, downtown Lincoln looked significantly different. And getting in the car, and we were on our way to go beat the brakes off of Florida eventually, and he was like, "Man, you don't even know what you guys are doing right now. You don't know how great you guys are." And it was kind of business as usual, but you're like, "Yeah, right." You're just kind of living in the moment because we didn't know any better. It's just we prepared for a national championship every single day, even in the off season, and then you're able to accomplish, not only to win a championship. We're talking about even a conference championship, Big 12 conference championship, Big 8 national championship. And then to have everything go together and have a great mix of guys that truly cared about each other to be one of the best teams of all time. And 30 years does go by fast, man, or go by fast, excuse me. And but it's always great to see the guys. We had a little get together last night, and it'd be good to take that walk, one more time with everybody. And as we were able to do last year, but 95 team is obviously a really, really special team.
Once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys. The entire A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Once again, this segment brought to you by Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits. We are about 3 hours away from kickoff for Nebraska and Michigan. I think a really good and cliche word to use when describing and talking about this game is opportunity for Nebraska on so many levels. You have it internally as a program, but then also from the national spotlight. This is going to be a nationally televised game against a notable brand. Opportunity is a perfect way, I think, to describe it.
Yeah, it's the great way. I mean, the best way the only way to really describe it, Nick, and that was really great on your part, because if you had like 3 boxes to check for opportunity, is here. It's the timing of the game, where you play them, and then the team that you're playing. And so this is set up. It's like look, bases loaded. 1 out in the World Series, 3-0. He got to give you a fastball, and then it's the arm's tired. It's a great opportunity to swing for the fences and knock it out of the park. So, look, it's a great opportunity. We know all that. We know it's the process is easy, because we know that there's an easy way to get to the outcome. The hard thing is that you got to go out there and do it against a team like Michigan that's probably having the same talks that we are. At some level, it's an opportunity for them to improve their ranking, get back into the national, talk, and then catapult themselves to great things.
Maybe that's an angle we haven't necessarily dissected on with our conversations, is where for Michigan, from their standpoint, they're a team that they're trying to avoid getting their second loss today.
Yeah,
and we've seen 2 loss teams make the college football playoff, but with a lot tougher of schedules than Michigan's going to have. And when you look at the Wolverines, what's ahead of them is there's chances to get wins, but not necessarily get back into the national conversation. Yeah. Michigan has a massive opportunity for them to where there's a lot on the line with them already having 1 loss.
Yeah, and that loss probably will look a lot better if Oklahoma continues to be successful. And then, I'm going to just go out there. When they lose to Nebraska, that really amps the pressure up on Michigan, that they have to play dang near perfect. And then they got to hope everybody else on their schedule moving, down the road levels up. And then therefore it kind of lessens those 2 losses. But, right now with 1 loss early in the season, that's the risk that you take. But I don't think it's a big risk, because it's not an in-conference opponent. It's a Power 4 opponent. And it was I guess you put lipstick on a pig kind of loss, right? But, I think what that means is I would expect Michigan's best shot. I would expect them to be controlled in their desperation, meaning really prepared, really, energetic. It's going to be physical, and get their best shot. They have been playing better. And so it's not like, they're kind of, crawling in here, the second half of the Oklahoma game, and really from the second quarter all the way on until Oklahoma got that last score and kind of put it out of reach. They were pretty competitive. So, the Nebraska has their work cut out for them, but I think the situation lends to, even though, by the people that in Vegas, it's right pretty much even Steven, it tends to Nebraska will get the favorable bounces here at home.
So once again, Nick Center, Jay Foreman with you from the Kindler Hotel, the segment of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show ahead of Nebraska, Michigan, sponsored by our friends at Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits. Okay, priority number one for Nebraska. We've heard all of the opinions all week. It starts in the trenches. It starts with Nebraska's offense getting into a rhythm. Dylan Raiola's got to protect the ball. The secondary's got to play well. You got to hit Bryce Underwood. For you, what is priority number one when you look at Nebraska versus Michigan if you want to get a win?
Well, number one, they got to handle their business, right? That means, no punch in your face type of penalties, where legal procedures and not lining up right, offsides, personal fouls, and stuff like that. You can't do that. And, once that's the big part. And then that'll allow you to be more efficient on offense. That means you want to stay at or ahead of the chains. And then you want to continue to be in third and favorable when you're, have control of the ball. And then obviously if you do the same, and that's winning the line of scrimmage, obviously on defense, you're able to continue to really, really just slowly but surely crank that pressure up on a freshman quarterback on the road. And then you'll be able to take some shots. And then when you got a chance to, hit a big play, because Michigan will allow you to get over the top of them, at the right opportunity. And then you got to make those plays, and then the game could be, well in hand, as you go into the fourth quarter.
On that note, with Emmett Johnson, it feels like a potential big day for the running back room as a whole, because if Nebraska can play, I think, the way that they want to, they're not only going to be able to utilize the number of receivers that they have and brought in through the transfer portal. This is why you bring in those guys.
Yeah.
But then this is the game also why you felt like it was necessary to go out and get Emmett Johnson from the transfer portal.
Sure.
Because Emmett tonight or today, this afternoon, has a chance. If I'm so encouraged, Jay, let me say this and I'll let you run wild with it. I'm so excited and encouraged to see the reins are off. Like there's no leash anymore, right? The last 2 weeks we've seen it to where, okay, you're going to play the first half and then we're going to get some other reserves in there. That's not the case today. Everything is a full go. Everybody's available, and you have a bye week next week.
Right.
There's no reason for Nebraska not to run guys empty today.
No, this is no fair dodging. This is good on good. This is what you've been talking all season that you want. I mean, this is what you come to Nebraska for. You've been building towards this obviously over the last couple seasons, and then had some tangible success last year, and now you're up there about to play Michigan on your terms, right, at home. Michigan, not the Michigan of prior, via Connor Stallions and Mr. Khakis.
Who's in town this weekend?
Is he?
Connor Stallions is here.
Town. Yeah, just by chance he decided to come here.
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, anyways, I think it's an opportunity for everybody to go out there and play. This is not the time to look to the sideline. This is the time that we used to say back in 1995 when we're looking straight forward, and we are going to run through you. And so it's going to, it's always a game of wills, right? And it's always what you're willing to do. Everybody's capable of a lot, but it's what you're willing to do. Both teams are going to come out pumped up in the first couple series, right? So that's where the excitement comes from. But then you got to really crank it up when that discipline comes in, when all that little fun stuff is over, right? All the little tricky plays and all that. And you got to knuckle up and play what I call a white knuckle game. And that's essentially when you walk around with your fist balled up and ready to go. And so, it's a game for Emmett to do what he needs to do. I think he has a favorable matchup against their linebackers in space. Now it's on the offensive line and the play calls and the flow of the game to get him in an advantageous spot. And then that'll allow, the outside skill position guys to get loose. And that's, we can go through 50 million of them. But it all starts up front, and that's on both sides of the ball.
You and I talked about whether it was on pregame show segments, postgame shows, conversations about how much you can learn about Nebraska and about yourself in the games against Akron and Houston. Christian, you said not much, right? But from your point of view, evaluate the offensive line for me this year, because that's a position group that Nebraska did improve through the transfer portal, or at least attempt to improve through the transfer portal. One guy that they've brought in doesn't play nearly as much as what we all expected, and that's no shocking development. That's not a shocking storyline. We all know the situation surrounding Elijah Pritchett right now. But at the other side, we have a guy in Rocco Spindler who they went out, brought him in financially and to play a big role on that offensive line. We haven't talked a lot about Justin Evans at center, right?
Yeah.
That's been a pretty steady spot. We haven't talked a lot about Gunnar Gatula once he's been named the starter at left tackle. Henry Latovsky's been fine, and at right tackle Prohaska's been fine.
Yeah.
What's your evaluation of the offensive line? Because now it's Big Ten football.
Yeah, we're going to see today, obviously, where they're at, but I think, definitely up the middle, and, they've, been pretty solid. And, and the tackles have played well, but this is their biggest test here.
Yeah.
Cincinnati wasn't a big pass rush team. When you're dropping 8 guys, you're just essentially mush rushing. And that what mush rush means essentially just making sure you're kind of keeping the quarterback, encapsulated. And a couple times they got in there, but that was kind of forced pressure. And so, I think the offensive line, even back to last year, I don't think they got enough credit for being as consistent as they were last year. I thought they made improvement, and I think they have a better, at least athletically, unit this year. I think Justin Evans has made a good seamless transition to center. Rocco is, from Notre Dame, started some games last year, so he has a little bit of championship pedigree. And Latovsky kind of made a name for himself last year. When he played, he was playing at a pretty high clip. And we said it even last year. Gunnar Gatula, who came in as a redshirt freshman that wasn't really supposed to play, got thrown in there. And I think it was like in the fourth quarter against Illinois. I think that was it. And really didn't look out of place. You had to banged up a little bit in the spring, and then whether it's off the off the field stuff with Elijah Pritchett or whatever it is, or Turner coming back from injury, Gunnar Gatula has done what he's needed to do at this point in season to still be out there. Obviously, but they got to go out there and play as a unit. They are going to be tested. This is when you're going into a game like this, it's a different mindset when you're playing Houston Christian and Akron. The pressure of Houston Christian and Akron is just do what you're supposed to do against a lesser opponent, which sometimes a lesser opponent can kind of not bring you down to their level. They just don't play at a high enough clip till you can execute. Now they're able to do that. But, this is a game that, I think you win, or you really have a good leg up on, through winter conditioning, summer conditioning, spring ball, how you really approach this thing. This is a mentality game. This is a game that you got to be really invested in, like all the hoopla running around and all that. This ain't a game. This is not a game for the faint of heart. And if I would say this, you need to make this game not for the faint of heart. And it's a different mindset, and you got to really have that switch to be able to turn it on.
Once again, Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman, live from the Kindler Hotel. We got a couple of minutes left here before we go to break and get you on as we continue the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. I would say this also about Nebraska's offensive line. They've, for the most part, kept Dillon relatively clean. Now, a big part of what's allowed them to do that is they're getting the ball out of Dillon's hands rather quickly with Dana Holgerson's offense. I feel like that was something that maybe also is something that's changed this season, especially early on in the game. They're trying to get Dillon connected with some of his wideouts, whether that's Emmett in the backfield as well, trying to get him connected with some of his wideouts and get a couple of early completions quick.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, number one, he's processing it a lot faster.
And we hear about his processing all the time.
Right. I mean, it just comes from just playing. And then also, he's feels really, connected to Dana and his offense. Dana's kind of giving him ownership with what Dana said. And it's really good to get that rhythm. Look, he's still a young quarterback. I mean, let's face it. You played in high school, but this is real deal football here. You haven't even been through 2 years, so you're still a young quarterback. So he's getting him off to a good start is A1 priority. And then that lets you know that the offensive line is going well, and then obviously the running attack comes off of that. So he's been able to connect with a variety of receivers, which I think gives him comfort. That way he's out there just running the offense, and it gives a play caller even more comfort that he's executing it. So I think it's been a good job of matching the wants and needs of both Dillon and the team in the offense to make sure that you're moving in the right direction. Hopefully it peaks today against Michigan. As
a linebacker yourself, let's transition and shift over to the defense. How do you defend a quarterback that has the potential of Bryce Underwood, the established running back of Justice Haynes
and company,
because they got a couple of them. how is from a linebacker standpoint, how do you play fundamental sound football against these guys?
Well, you got to know every situation. You got to know the defense in and out, and more importantly, you got to know the why of everything. And then you got to have everybody else on the same page. That's why the middle linebacker, the guy that's setting the defense and over communicating, and maybe it's veteran safeties, but it's got to come from somebody in that first and second level. Has really got to be the conductor or the guy that leads the orchestra, because you can get caught up in the wave of the game, and you got to be able to give a Terrell Farley a tip or allow Terrell Farley to do what he does best and go make plays, and then I got to cover his back. That's how you win these games. You don't win these games by just lining up and don't move. You have got to go out there and play football. And against a running quarterback, you got to have your pass rush lanes tight. You got to know why you're rushing if you're running some games. You can't be lazy. There are no plays off, and you got to play with extra effort. You might have to be in coverage, defeat a block by a running back or a fullback, come off and make a play, even though they get the first down. 2 plays later, interception or forced fumble, offense gets it. Now you have the momentum clearly on your team. Every play counts when you're playing against a great athlete like Underwood, and especially a younger player.
I specifically said potential because I think we're still learning what Bryce Underwood does best, right?
And so are they.
And so are they. But I think Sharon Moore used Bryce Underwood in a little bit of a different way than I think what we're seeing the interim head coach use him. Now, this is obviously the last game that Bryce is going to not have Sharon Moore as the head coach, but for the most part, I think there's a lot of people still learning. Okay, that's why I said potential of Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, he's got tons of potential.
I get what he did running the ball last week, but we don't know if that's what Michigan wants to necessarily have him do.
It was only a couple called runs. He did it off schedule. I think they've really simplified it. If your first or second read isn't there on play side, hey, tuck it and duck, and run. And that's what they made a lot of, they really, really broke the game open when he was able to do that. And then that allowed the running back to get off after that.
Exactly. And Michigan is talking about Central Michigan the same way we're referring to Akron.
Sure.
Right? They're saying the same things about Bryce Underwood and Justice Haynes and how they performed against Central Michigan the same way we talked about how Dylan and Emmett and the rest of the guys performed against Houston Christian and Akron.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was a lesser opponent. They did what they had to do. They were coming off a heartbreaking loss. Their coach is gone, and definitely opened a big old can of at home. And so they're coming in, confident, and they got a quarterback that can be a problem. It's a young quarterback. You have got to take his confidence from the get. You have got to hit this dude. He's a big dude. He can run, but you have got to hit him. Now, this is not time to be out here making, I want to be able to come over there and pull Farley off or somebody. We got to dial you down.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you got a chance to hit this dude, take a shot, you got to make it hurt. And this is part of the game. I'm not trying, that's the deal. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You'll heal up and go home, but, we got to win this game. And if you're just a, casualty of the game, that's just part of the deal.
We got about 2.5 minutes left in this segment. Nick Sandert, Jay Foreman alongside here at the Kindler Hotel. All right, Jay, we do this each week. Let's go key players, one offensive, one defensive, in your prediction.
Offensively, I'm just going to say the line.
Okay.
That's not one person, because I think it's the line. The line will control all the guys that get all the Twitter followers and the Instagram likes and all that. The line. That's my pick on the offense.
Is it weird for me to think that this is a game Ja'Cory Barney? We see explosive play from Ja'Cory, whether that's in punt return, whether that's in special teams. I think I don't know. It feels like we've seen a lot of Ja'Cory on underneath routes, get him in space, let him kind of go to work with his athleticism.
Yeah.
I feel like this is also a potential to where Nebraska can try to blow one over the top.
I think he can get busy down the hash, in between the numbers against their defense and the linebackers and safeties, especially when they're running a little bit of cover 4, and he's just a matchup problem against a linebacker like myself. So I expect Ja'Cory Barney to provide some excitement and electricity early and often.
Defense, where are you going? I'm going to say the same guy that I said last weekend, because I think it's time that one of those guys on the interior needs to do their job today, whether that's Riley Van Poppel or Elijah. I'm going to go with Van Poppel.
Yeah.
But I guess you could also throw Keona Davis in that
all
trio.
of them. The D-line has got to play good, and everybody else. You got to play good. I don't care what you do against Akron and all those dudes and Willie Lump and Closed Eye University. I got to see what you do against the big boys. Yeah. And they got to step up. For me, I'm going to say like a Javen Wright, or Shavers. You guys are the guys that played the most. Okay. One or both of you guys are going to have your eyes on 19, and it's not just sitting around and going around and waiting until he like runs. You have got to hit this dude. Okay. You know, Javen and him are looking eye to eye. They're the same size, I think. So you got to hit this dude, and you got to eliminate the quarterback run game. The more you hit him early, he will not run. You've got to hit him low, though. You got to chop him down, and you got to make sure that he thinks twice about running. And if they take that type of mentality, Nebraska will win this game by 2 scores.
What's the prediction? What are you going with?
I think it's going to be 30 to either 21-24.
Okay.
And it'll only be 24 because Michigan will kick a field goal. Nebraska be up by 2 scores late.
I actually think Nebraska gets a clutch turnover late, and I think they win it by I've said 34-24 the entire week, and that's kind of where I land.
Yeah.
I think Nebraska will be able to get a turnover late, similar to the way they did in 21, to where they were able to potentially take the lead or tie the game.
Yeah.
And here they are. I think that they're going to get a turnover late, and they're going to be able to kind of walk out of here up and win 4-0.
We shall see. I think it'll be a good game.
There it is. Once again, this segment brought to you by our friends at Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits. Are you looking for the perfect sip in Lincoln? Head to Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, North 27th Street, where walk-in humidor meets a temperature-controlled wine cellar and shelves that are bursting with over 3,000 wines, 2,000 spirits, and 1,500 beers and seltzers. Make sure you stop in and elevate your next pour. For the Husker Hall of Famer, Jay, congratulations, my friend. Enjoy the reunion today.
Yeah.
And hopefully the 2025 Huskers, 30 years later, can bring home a victory against the Michigan Wolverines. That'll do it for Jay and myself from the Kindler Hotel. Next up, it's Adam Carricker, Terrell Farley, and Todd Euler from these very seats on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more. It's game day, Husker fans. Max Tan celebrates the Huskers and the amazing athletes who bring the energy every game. Right now, experience the 2025 season tour, high-pressure tanning, red light therapy, and spray tanning for just $20.25. Max Tan keeps you looking and feeling your best all season long. Max Tan, shining bright with Husker pride. Take it to the max and go Big Red.
Harvest season is here, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade now. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends September 30th, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's game on at Elway Powersports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Powersports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herb Street's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by the Kindler Hotel.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 93.7 The Ticket Pregame Show. We are live from the Kindler. I am Adam Carricker, Terrell Farley, and Todd Euler. All right, book your stay today at the Kindler Hotel in one of their 45 well-appointed guest rooms that provides luxury in the heart of downtown. Enjoy a drink at Boitano's Lounge while you're here and take in the outdoor patio. Book your stay at the Kindler Hotel So we're obviously going to talk Nebraska, Michigan, but let's talk 95 celebration reunion, 30 years. You guys had an event last night. You're going to be honored today. What does this mean for you guys? I'm just going to say it. The greatest college football team of all time, 30-year anniversary. What's it mean for you guys?
Well, I think it means a lot to us, man. We went out there and we practiced hard for it. We did 2 days when it was hot back then, and players these days don't know about 2 days. Just, being on the old hot turf, just loving your teammates, being a team, being one, being able to come back 30 years later. Most of the guys are still here. Most of the coaches are still around. So it's a great honor. But, we still want our school to be like we were. We want them to be the best. We want them to do the things that the 95 team did. But I know we're in a different time zone and different years, but
era. Yeah.
we still want the best for the University of Nebraska.
Yeah, I thought it was a great time getting together with all the guys. Amazing. We made it 30 years. It doesn't seem, it seems like yesterday, but, and I'm with
That's a lie.
It seems like yesterday to me.
Depends on who you are, I guess.
It goes pretty quick. So, seeing Coach Osborne and seeing Tommy and a lot of the other guys, it was a good time last night. It's going to be fun to lead the team out of the tunnel again. We did it for Colorado last year with the 94 reunion, and we know how that turned out. So we won that game. So I think we're pretty good. So we had a 10-year, 20-year, and a 30-year for both. And I think we've only lost one of those games.
All right.
So I'm hoping we're a good luck charm today.
What is it like? 90,000+ screaming people. You guys are being celebrated. It's a big deal. It's a big game. It's a big opponent. The atmosphere. When you guys are leading them out as they're getting ready to play in a very important game, what's that feeling? Does the old feeling of the tunnel walk come back for you guys, or what are you guys feeling in that moment?
Yeah, put me in, Coach.
Yep.
Let's go.
You told me you had one play in you before we went on air. One play.
Put me in. Yeah, you get goosebumps. It's pretty, and it's bigger than when we did the tunnel walk, right? Like there's more people in there.
No, I think we was bigger than theirs.
You think so?
I think we was 90. They only 89.
No, we weren't bigger.
88, 80 something. But the thing for me is that, once I see those kids run out, I probably want to snatch one of them in the corner and put on their uniform.
Yeah.
Just to come back here and be celebrated, man. This is probably one of the best stadiums in the world, best fans in the world. To still be recognized after 30 years, still have our head coach with us to lead the way out, and just to show these young men how the bond of being a teammate at Nebraska benefits you your whole life.
All right, fellas, let's talk about the game itself. I would ask you what the biggest key to the game is. I'd be shocked if either one of you didn't say stopping Michigan's run game. So let's dispense with the unnecessary questions and let's get into how would you approach stopping or at least limiting Michigan's run game?
Well, put a lot of guys in the box. You got to have 7 in the box to match whatever they got. You got to have probably some of your biggest, baddest guys in there because they're a bunch of horses up there, a bunch of hogs, how we call them, man. And for Nebraska, this is going to be a big challenge, man, especially for the defense, the defensive ends, nose guards, missing guys like Ty Robinson. We got to get past that point because we're 3 games into this season, and somebody got to step up big, man. I mean, real big.
Yeah, I think the key will be the defensive line. Can we get a push? Can we control their offensive line to stop the run game? And if we don't, we're in for a long day.
So I'm kind of to the point where, nothing but love for Ty and Nash. I don't want to hear about them playing at Nebraska. If I hear about them, I want it to be Eagles or wherever Nash is at or Ty is. That's what I want to hear going forward. I want to hear about our guys going forward. I have this crazy theory, and I said it on my show, and I said it on TikTok because I throw crazy crap out on TikTok all the time now. And I said, what if we did it inversely of how most people are approaching it? What if instead of starting with the D-line to linebackers to secondary, what if we said Michigan's weakest position group on their entire team by far is their wide receivers? What if we said we got the number 1 pass defense in the country? I don't know if we'll finish number 1, but we're really good. Okay. What if we said our guy's better than yours? You got a true freshman quarterback on the road without his head coach. What if we said, hey, we're going to go single high free safety, stack the box with 8 people, or cover 0? Let's put 8, 9 guys in the box, and their best receiving threats, their tight end, he is legit banged up, going to play banged up. And we just say, we can cover you. You're going to have to beat us by throwing the ball because we're going to put 90,000 guys in the box. Is that a crazy way of looking at it?
No, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I like it. What about you, T?
It depends. I mean, I'd rather put my best 7 against your best 7 and see if we can win.
You want to risk that?
I want to risk it, man, because when you take risks like that, and if one guy misses an assignment, then it's a touchdown the other way.
It's a fair point.
If you can't do it right. So if you're going to do it right, you have to do it the right way.
That's fair. To be clear, I wouldn't do 9 and cover 0 every play. That would not be smart. Okay. Yeah. But I would mix it in. Absolutely. A majority of 8 guys in the box, a sporadic of 7, like T said, and a sporadic of 9. But man, I'd be loading that box and I'd say, you gotta beat us by throwing the ball. That'd be my approach.
It's kind of like a defense we ran in '95. We called it under bubble.
Okay.
We'll take our middle linebacker, put him over the center. You scoot the wheel linebacker, make him the middle, take the Sam and put him on the end.
Yep.
So now you got a 6-man front with a guy in the middle with a pick on both sides.
Yep.
That helps you out on a pass situation, but makes me wide open when they run. So, I used to love that defense because everybody was tangled up with somebody, and it's just a one-on-one with you and the running back.
You got to roam. Dude, that's every defender's dream, bro.
Yeah, I'm a roaming guy.
I love that,
except they don't charge me for roaming.
Oh, man. Let me ask you a question because I'm well-versed in under bubble with a 5 tech, a 1, a 3, and a backside 9.
Yeah.
Who do you think has the 2 toughest jobs? Because I know who it is. Who do you think has the 2 toughest jobs in that front?
I would say probably McCullum.
The position.
The jack.
Nose guard and the 5 tech. Why are you going to go straight to linebacker? I'm the guy getting doubled every play, man. Anyways, talk to me about the offense a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you want to see? Because it's so much, we let off with it. So much has been made of stopping Michigan's run. But we are going to have to score some points. What does the offense need to do? Do we need to establish the run? Do we need to get Dylan some confidence, some easy completions early in the game, get him in a rhythm? How would you start the game?
Yeah, I think, Emmett has shown that he can take on the carries. I think we're going to have to run Emmett quite a bit and be a big part of the game plan if we expect to, really score significant points. If our defense can hold them, I do think it's going to be more of a defensive game. But Emmett's going to be a huge key. And getting Dylan started in the right way, probably, swing pass out to Emmett, that kind of stuff. But we have to run the ball because we need to control the clock a little bit as well. I think that's going to be key. The best defense is not having their offense on the field, right? So can we control the time of possession? And doing that, we can't have incomplete passes, and we need to run the ball. And I think that's going to be the key. Can Emmett, can that offensive line open up a big enough hole for Emmett to, establish the run? I look to see us run significant in this game compared to what we have in the past.
Get the run going early.
Yeah.
What about you, T?
Hold on, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend.
When you look on tape, Michigan got a great defense. They're a very good blitzing team. Dylan has to try to stay out of number 1 way. That kid right there can blitz. Ernest Hausman can blitz. Their defensive line is a big defensive line. This is not a defensive line that we played this year like this. So playing against this defense, they're going to have to be smart about their choices. They're going to have to be physical up front. And Emmett is going to have to be a hard runner. And you're going to have to catch the balls that you usually don't catch against a defense like this to try to get the extra yards, the touchdowns, the first downs that we need. But it's going to be a good defensive game. I look for Michigan to play a very solid defense. Offensive-wise, I'm still, leaning towards Nebraska has the advantage on offense. But, that defense Michigan got can really play lights out ball.
If you're Ernest Hausman, and it's been a couple of years, so maybe it's not that big a deal, but I'm
a Hausman fan.
So let's say you're Ernest, you're coming back to a place where you played in their house. Is there a little bit of extra juice you have for this game? Or is it like, what, that was a couple of years ago. We both did what was best for us. But for me, my best games were against my former teams because I got long memory, man. That's me.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be. He's a Nebraska kid.
Yeah.
He's born and raised in Columbus, Nebraska. He wants to come in here and put on the show. He wants to come in here and show Nebraska what they lost out on 3 years ago with Scott Frost and company. He wants to come in here and prove everybody wrong. He wants to come in here and say, hey, this is Ernest Hausman house, the house that Ernest built.
He's the leading tackler in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He's a heck of a player. It sucks he's not here, but I'm hoping to watch a couple plays where he gets put on his back. Once a Husker, always a Husker. But at the same point, he's wearing blue today.
Yep.
I hope he gets put into maybe gets into the sideline where we're standing, and we can help him up. But
once a Husker, do you transfer?
Yeah,
that's always been an interesting conundrum to me.
It is.
You look at a guy like, whether it's Ernest, you look at a guy like Adrian Martinez, who's come back and been embraced by Husker Nation, and
you can do it with the guys who would 1 year, but if you're gone 3+ years, I mean,
every situation is different.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Your
That's
Husker
fair.
card is snatched.
It's snatched.
Yeah.
All right.
So a guy like Adrian, we can give him his card back because he come back to work for the athletic department, and he's a big part of Scott Frost and even what's the older guy there?
Riley.
Mike Riley. So he played his heart out for Nebraska. Kid just wanted to win, so you can't doubt him for that.
All right. We've talked about a couple of keys. What's the biggest thing, the biggest factor left in this game that comes to your mind that we've talked about stopping the run, we've talked about the offense. There's got to be, you always do 3 keys to every game, right? What would be your third and final key, your biggest key left in the game that we haven't talked about?
Let's special teams, right? Like,
that's where I was going to go.
Yep. Like, we haven't seen Archie the last couple games. Our field goal unit seems to be pretty solid.
He was on the field when they took the knee. They took the knee.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
We haven't seen him perform, right? And I've told people this all, fall ball, like, this kid is a game changer. So I think look for our special teams to potentially, and I think Jacory return. I mean, we've already seen better returns than we've seen in years, right?
Yep.
So I think that could change the game. A really good coffin corner punt or a really good return, that could be a key to today of switching the momentum, right? And so I think that we just haven't seen a lot of special teams the last couple of weeks. But I think, once again, Archie's going to be a weapon for us today when we because we're going to have to punt today. That's against this.
At some point, we're going to have to punt.
I mean, I'm hoping it's only once. 1 or 2.
Yeah, I'm with you.
As an offensive guy, we never want to punt.
I get it.
But we're probably going to have to do that today, and I think that could be a really good thing for us that our special teams has come as far as it has.
All right, I want to let T go, but before he says special teams too, I want to say it because that's what I was going to say. I'm convinced we don't beat Cincinnati without our special teams. 52-yard field goal, pin them inside the 23 times, inside the 10 twice with Archie. And, our coverage units were much improved. The punt return game was a little bit better. It's gotten better the past couple of weeks. The kick return game has not quite come to fruition. It's the one part of the game where I'm kind of like, that's the one thing that isn't quite where we'd like, but kicking field goals, punting, coverage, punt return, everything is a lot better. And then you look at Michigan. Michigan's missed 2 field goals. Now, their field goal kicker was 7 of 7 a year ago from beyond 40 yards. He's 4 of 6 this year just overall. So I don't know. Maybe he just mishit a couple, but they've missed a couple. They have muffed a punt return. They've muffed a kick return. So these are things that are game changers.
Yes.
I don't think we beat Cincinnati without Eckler coaching our special teams, which gives me more confidence with our special teams. Michigan's kind of like, they've had some blunders. Do they have another big one today? So I'm with you on special teams. Now you have to come up with something different, T.
Well, I think I think Matt Rule is going to have to pull some tricks out of his bag.
Okay.
Today. I think he's going to have to trick him on some of the special team plays, at least try to run one or
Brought
pass
up special
one.
teams again.
But I think more pressure's on Matt Rule. That's why I say that. When I talk about this thing today, this team is going to have to prove stuff to us. They have to prove can they win this big game. They got to prove have they took that level to be that elite team in the Big Ten. This is about winning right here. Losing don't do nothing but make more excuses for you.
Yep.
So coming out here today trying to play your way into a victory is the most important thing right here. And you got to win the game any kind of way you can win it. Trick plays, special teams, long bums. You just got to do something that you haven't done in a long time, and that's win the game.
You want to see the annexation of Puerto Rico? Is that what you're telling me?
I just, you always see some of that stuff, and you just don't play yourself into a bad play. Right?
A trick play versus a dumb call.
Right.
That's why they get paid the big bucks. Yeah. $8-9 million a year. So last 2 questions I got. All right, who needs to win this game more? Because if you're Nebraska, it's everything T just laid out. If you're Michigan, all of a sudden you're 2-2. And so from Michigan's perspective, they need this game too. Who needs it more?
Well, kind of looking at Michigan's schedule, if they lose this game, they've got USC and Ohio State left, which, and the rest of them all look pretty winnable.
Yep.
So, I mean, they could lose 4 games, right? If they lose this one.
Yeah.
You look at our schedule. If we lose this one, we've got USC and Penn State. The rest of them look potentially winnable. We end up with 3 losses potentially. But as far as for me, winning this game for Nebraska is much more important for everything that's going on for this program, right? So Michigan's going to be Michigan, whether they win or lose this game. I think the more pressure is on Nebraska to win this game for sure.
Okay, T.
Well, it's got to be Nebraska. Michigan comes in here with a offensive coordinator, not a real coach. So, he wants the victory. He probably wants the victory more because we've seen this with Jim Harbaugh when he missed games last year. I think Nebraska needs it more, but you can only have one team that wins, and the best team is going to win today. And we don't know that. We don't know that till we see the kickoff. We see most of the first, second quarter. I'm still, my hand's still tied up with this game.
This guy needs to go into politics.
I see
Playing
that.
both sides of the aisle there.
Yeah. He said Nebraska in the beginning. He did say Nebraska in the beginning.
He came back, yeah.
You can go either way. My take is if you're Michigan, you're 2-2, and you've got some tough games coming up. Oh, the expectations are high at Michigan. If you're Nebraska, it's like, well, we lost another one. We're now 28 ranked losses in a row. Matt rules like 2 in 10,000 versus ranked teams. Can't beat a ranked Power 4 team, and here we go. It's like you said, it's everything surrounding it. It's the feeling, it's the emotion, it's what you're trying to build, it's the momentum. You look at the schedule, you look beyond that, we'd be 3-1, and we're going to be favored in the majority of our games that are left. If we go 8-4, not what I want, but I said that would be a successful season. If we go 9-3, which is what I predicted, most people would jump for joy. Michigan would be pissed at 9-3. Now, that being said, I think Michigan, I don't want to say has built-in excuses, but you got a true freshman quarterback. You don't have your head coach, which you chose not to have here today, by the way. But you've got some built-in excuses. I think for Nebraska, they need to get over the hump. And I think it's a little bit more important for Nebraska to get over the hump. I don't care if it's 30-10. I don't care if it's 3-2. We need to find a way to score one more point than the other team. What's your official prediction?
I got 24-20. I think.
Ooh, very close to mine. Go ahead.
We keep it under that. I think 46.5 is the spread there, and I think it's going to be less than that. So 24-20. It's going to be a heck of a game. It's going to be loud in there. I'm excited. It's going to be so much fun.
How do you see the game unfolding? Like, is it close the entire way? Is one team take a lead, the other team comes back?
Great question. I just think that the defenses are going to kind of dictate that, right? So, like you said, early on, there's going to be a lot of – I think we come out, we're probably scripted. They're scripted. We're probably going to be pretty successful. Could be 7-7 to start out, and then kind of a little lull when we're settling in, and then maybe a big play here or a big play there. We did a couple more scores. So I think 14-14 halftime, something like that, 14-10 halftime, either way. And then, see what happens the second half and who can make those halftime adjustments to what's going on the field.
All right, T.
31-10 Michigan.
Ooh, wow.
31-21.
31.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
How'd that change so fast?
31-21,
right.
Michigan.
Okay, explain yourself.
Well, we have to learn to win the big games, and we didn't see that last year.
Yeah.
Sometimes last year at the end of games we make mistakes against teams like Iowa. I just think Michigan's a better team on both sides of the line. It's just going to be a real tough game for us that we're going to let slip away at the end, towards the end. That's why I just don't think we're there yet. Being honest with you, I think just their big defensive line and offensive line is going to overpower us, and something we ain't seen all year.
So basically, you're not going to believe it till you see it.
Yeah, I have to see it.
Okay.
I believe it.
Dude, I can understand both sides. I'll tell you right now, if this game was in Ann Arbor, I would take Michigan.
Yes.
That crowd is going to be Colorado-esque. Colorado never stood a chance. Travis Hunter basically said it's the loudest crowd I've ever been in front of in my life, and he goes, it wasn't even close. Most home field advantages are worth 3 to 3.5 points. I think it's going to be double in there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like that Bryce Underwood got to go to Oklahoma, and this isn't his first experience like this. I don't like that. But I think that crowd's going to be worth about double, so 6 to 7 points. So because it's a true freshman quarterback, you don't have your head coach, the crowd's going to go crazy. Michigan's banged up. They're missing a starting offensive lineman. Their best pass receiving threat is banged up. They're banged up all over the place. They do have their best safety back. He's been gone for an entire year. It's his first game back. We're fresh. We could not be any healthier or any fresher. It's like we had a bye week. If it was in Michigan and we were both equal health-wise, I hate to say it, I would be with T. But I think just those little intangibles, I think the game is a rock fight the entire game. It wouldn't surprise me if it's like 7-3 at halftime, and then the offenses start to find ways to score in the second half. It may come down to a 2-minute drill and the ball in Dylan Raiola's hands. I've got Nebraska 24-21, just the little intangibles.
All right. Yeah. I can live with that.
All right.
All right.
I hope two of us are right, and I still love you, but I hope you're wrong.
Well, I hope you're wrong. We can talk more Monday about it, too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sappbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
It's game on at Elway Powersports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier powersports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Powersports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Nebraska fans, it's game day in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball, with every game on, every screen, all day long. Today, they're bringing the party with Sidetrack Band all day long, and no drinking on grounds takes over tonight. Doors open bright and early at 9 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going strong with the full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, fans, good food, and drinks.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Elway Powersports of Lincoln.
What is up? We are back at the A1 Ticket Tailgate. It's game on at Elway Powersports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership, stocking up top models of Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycles, Sea-Doo, and Triton Trailers. Stop by their 27th and I-80 location today. DP, it's Husker game day, big game against Michigan today.
Yeah, it feels like big game Saturday. It feels like it's a litmus test, but it's also one of those helmet games where you identify the programs and the culture and the fan base before you even talk about it. I think what Nebraska is dealing with today, one, you've got the remembrance, the flag planted that says remember 1995, and what this program was built on, who it was built on, how it was built. Also in the face of an opponent that's just recently won a national title, reemerged itself, and that has some connections. Now, I made a point to only identify Michigan as cheaters all today. Like, sorry, you're the cheaters. You don't get any credit. I'm not calling you national champion. Whatever. You're cheaters, and that's who you are. Live with it till you adjust. All that. I'm not impressed by it. It's a statement of who you are. And if you hide from it, that says a thing. And if you celebrate it, that says a thing. So as the Huskers prepare to take on the cheaters, and then, they made a point to make sure that lead cheater was in town. It's a statement of who you are and who you want to be. And Nebraska has the opportunity. And this is all about Nebraska. I don't care who they're playing. It's go 1-0 no matter who your opponent is. Don't play to your opponent. Play to what your standard is. Nebraska has things that it's worked on that it needs to accomplish. I don't care who the opponent is. Yeah, it's extra sauce to the fact that it's the cheaters. But you get to break tendency by simply doing what Nebraska. Listen, Dylan has a playlist, and he has a list of things he needs to accomplish today. Has nothing to do with Michigan. Nothing. Defensively, you have plays to make. You have responsibilities to fill. Has nothing to do with Michigan, right? Doesn't matter what Michigan lines up to do, what your opponent lines up to do. No matter what the cheaters do, this is about Nebraska football, and the greatest opponent Nebraska has is Nebraska. I don't care about the maize and blue, right? Make up your own color, weirdos. It's blue. You don't yell, "Go Big Maize."
Yep.
Like, make up your minds. Like, what are you doing in Ann Arbor? Like, what are you doing? Who are you? And what's with the weird stripes? Like, explain to me what you couldn't get somebody to draw Wolverine. You weren't real sure. I guess the lines in the helmet just mean at some point we're going to cheat our way to a national title. I think that's what the lines mean. So officially we can identify it that way. That whenever anytime you look at the helmet, you go, "Oh, the cheaters are here." That's what we're going to do. That's in case you didn't get the vibe. I'm a little saucy today because I think it's an opportunity for Nebraska about Nebraska. For all of the playbook talk and all it's about the fellas now. It's about the fellas. It's about the 105 or whatever the various number is. 95 can't win the game for him today. Bud Crawford can't win the game for him today. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure Matt Rule can win the game for him today. Make plays. Playmakers make plays, and in the biggest moments, the best playmakers make the best plays. And I just hope that today we get to see the best version of Nebraska that we've seen so far this season, because that's the mission, to be better in week 4 than you were in week 3. That's the full mission. And now they've got, they've got road signs along the way on how they plan on getting it done. But bravo. It is a beautiful day, and it should be a great game.
Yeah. I completely agree. And it's funny when you bring up kind of just the cheating aspect, because it seems like, I know it's been carried on, and, head coach for Michigan, Sherrone Moore, will not be in attendance today for the Wolverines. But it seems like they're still just kind of like fine with it. The NCAA, the Big Ten. I mean, you look back at Ohio State, I believe in 2010 or 11, in Urban Meyer's first tenure, and they had couldn't go into a bowl game because some of their players were getting free tattoos. Well, Michigan was doing something that was really affecting the play on the field that led to them in winning a national championship. But with that being said, it was fun to hear Todd Euler talk a little bit about just how they prepared in 95 for games. It didn't matter who they played. Coach Osborne had them ready, and they just seemed like they were ready to go out there and win. It didn't matter what color the other team was wearing.
If you're focused on you, the opponent doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's some reactionary stuff that are in play, but the conversations that each player is having is with himself about what he's been asked to accomplish. The keys that have been put in play, to know what the responsibilities are, to know what his action should be based on said play action or whatever the particular thing is. And football is a game that it is a living game. It is a living game. No two games are the same. You can't play them the same way. Certainly, you hope that the practice work that's put in, the film study that's put in, proper nutrition, proper rest, and then an amped crowd, that Nebraska can linear focus and get it done. Nothing will be asked of them today that they haven't practiced.
Yeah.
In full repetition. Look, it doesn't matter who your opponent is. What's the phrase from the movie? You catch the ball, you throw the ball, that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get people to the ground, make your blocks, don't cheat, don't make penalties against yourself, don't turn the ball over, and finish. There's simplicity in it. You can make it complicated if you want, but it's 11 people on a finite field. We know where the lines are. We know the rules, we know what the hash mark looks like. We know what the bigs are expected to do. We know what the quarterbacks are expected to do and asked to do. It is a high-level, extremely competitive, easily watchable college football game between Nebraska and Michigan. And every opportunity, Nebraska will have every opportunity to send 90,000 plus a sea of red home happy by simply not sucking. Just simply don't give the ball away. Don't give away plays. Don't give away extra yardage. And you know what? Do your job to finish.
Yeah.
Finish the dang game. It doesn't, like, listen, there's no rule. We don't know. There's no rule to say you have to run the ball 30 times. You have to throw it 20 times. You have to run for 200 yards or throw for 200 yards. Nope. None of those rules apply. Play by play. That's the mantra. Play by play. Get better and better. And if you're better than you were a week ago, you're good enough to beat Michigan. That's how simple it is. Yeah. Like, you can get caught up in the, oh, well, in this gap against this scheme. Okay. Can you tackle? Can you block? Can you throw? Can you catch? Can you run? And then ultimately through all of that, finish. That's the kind of day I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. I'm curious on just what the keys to victory you think they are. I mean, you kind of just pointed out quite a few that it's just play by play. Don't get over your head. I think if anyone tries to be a hero defensively or offensively, I think that's where you run into trouble. In matchups like this, it just comes down to the coaching staff making sure that these players are prepared to go out there. What do you think are some of those keys today for the Huskers to come out on top?
Keep the ball.
Yep.
Keep the ball. Look, there's one football. Protect the dang football. And sometimes by handing it off, it's safer than throwing it. But sometimes the right decision is to throw it in open spaces through open windows by a protected quarterback to an open receiver. Football, you can make it as complicated as you want. Look, you know what? The longer you throw it, the more risk there has, but there's more reward. We understand that. All right, if you're bigger and stronger than the opposing team, then be bigger and stronger. If you're not, be more agile, more hostile, more mobile. Okay, fine. Listen, I get that it's Michigan, but the keys to the game will never, ever, ever change. Don't beat Nebraska.
Yeah.
Don't beat Nebraska. Do you know the snap count? Yeah. You know how I know you know the snap count? Because they told you in the huddle. They told you. The snap count's the snap count. You know where to line up? Yep. Trained it. You high-repped it, everything else. Do you know the play? Do you know your job? When they call the play, do you know what your responsibility is? If you don't know, ask.
Yep.
If you don't know, say so. Listen, don't make a bad decision with football. You don't want to be fancy. You be cute. Cute gets you beat.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to be right. You know what? Hand off, run the ball, make blocks, get them, move the chains, put points on the scoreboard. It's not difficult. Oklahoma showed you that this team from Michigan can be beat. They have flaws. Quarterback with footwork and, you know what, putting pressure on their freshman quarterback. I don't know. Nebraska has the more experienced quarterback this week. That's a thing. And listen, if you tell me that it doesn't matter that Michigan's head coach is not in the building, then why do you pay them so much money if they're not valuable on game day, on the most important day of the week? If you tell me that your team is just as good if you're not with them and not speaking to them and not making decisions, what are they paying you for? No, they should take a step down. It should matter. And quite frankly, Biff Poggi is 16 and there's some crazy. He's 6-16 as a head coach. Okay, so I don't know, Matt Rule, opportunity to beat somebody you're more experienced than. Because when Poggi came to Charlotte, Rule was there with the Panthers. He had the bigger, better job. He was assumed to be the better, smarter coach. I don't know. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Who's got better stats in the passing game? Nebraska does. Better stats defensively. Nebraska does. Doesn't matter how you got it or who you did it. You did your job. Today is the day of doing your job. And quite frankly, Michigan, don't cheat. Don't cheat. Officials, Big Ten officials, don't cheat. Don't cheat. I don't think Nebraska fans are asking too much by asking the officials, hey, don't cheat. Don't cheat for Nebraska. Don't cheat for Michigan. Let them play. Let them play. Let them play. And if Nebraska has every opportunity, listen, just do your job. That's the code for the day. Don't be fancy. Don't be cute. Do your job.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot about Raiola just in games already this season. Cincinnati is a good one where he seemed a lot more comfortable in the pocket and did his job, right? I mean, Cincinnati was playing way back, didn't want Nebraska to go over the top. And so Raiola took what they gave him. It was 6-yard completions. Maybe the receivers or tight end got a little bit extra after that. And I think that's what Nebraska kind of just needs to do today. And like you're saying, is just do your job. So don't try to force anything. Let the game come to you. And I mean, very well that Michigan, after that loss to Oklahoma, like they're not as confident coming into this one.
I don't think they're smart enough to be overconfident.
Yeah.
I don't think this Michigan team is overconfident. I don't think they're smart enough to be. Why would they be? Yeah, the group that's there. What have you done?
Mm-hmm.
You cheated. That's what you did. So much so. Listen, the head coach who cheated left and was replaced by a guy who, after that coach left, cheated again, which is why he can't play coach this week. He's not suspended for what the previous coach did. He's suspended for what he did. For what he did. That's your leader. That's your North Star. That's how you're going to do business. Listen, you get no respect from me. No, you don't get any respect from me today. Simple deal. Hey, Nebraska, with the really cool uniforms, keep the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the ball. If you're throwing the ball, throw it to somebody with our cool jersey. Right? Make a good throw. If you see somebody wearing that terrible maize and blue, hit them.
Yeah.
Hit them. If the whistle hasn't blown, hit them. And if it hasn't blown, hit them again. And then if the whistle stop, and then prepare to hit them again. Right? If they got the ball and they're running, tackle them, get them to the ground. I don't care how. Don't grab them by the face mask. Right? Don't punch them in the head. Get them to the ground. This is football. We can get super complicated and but listen, you're playing cheaters. We know in every matchup, in every competition, there are the good guys and the bad guys. There's faces and heels. Pro wrestling, you know who the bad guy is. But this ain't pro wrestling. We don't cheer the heels here. We say the bad guys are the bad guy and we boo the bad guy. Boo the bad guys in blue. It's blue. It's not maize. It's blue.
Yeah.
It's just Jim Carrey in the movie. The pen is blue. The pen is blue.
I love that. It's tough. It's really tough, though, in my mind, from a playing standpoint, 100%, it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the field. But from a fan standpoint, it's like, I don't like Michigan. Like, I'm not just going to say Nebraska's got a game today. Like, Nebraska's got a game today where I want them to beat the brakes off of Michigan. And
I don't care about Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't care. Look, when I was in Charlotte, my roommates, I spent a lot of time with 4 members of the Michigan football program. I know all the yells, I know all the cheers and all the chants. I do. I teased some folks yesterday because we were at an event and there were a bunch of Michigan fans there. And I know the code, right? And I said, okay, let's see if you're real true fans. And I gave them the code. And I said, 1, 2, you know what to do. And they looked at me like I was speaking Latin. And I said, you frauds, you absolute frauds. You traveled all the way to Lincoln, Nebraska wearing Michigan gear and you don't know the intro to the fight song? What are you doing? This is who you frauds, you phony frauds. But that's the thing. I lived with a Michigan Wolverine. Matt Elliott, Mr. Irrelevant, like from that era. There's a guy, Greg Skrepenak, Tim Biakapatuka. Like I was around a full crew of Michigan Blue. I understand it. But this ain't about Michigan. Michigan is a pothole on the road to Nebraska success. They are just a victim of circumstance. I apologize, Michigan, that the Big Ten Conference felt it necessary to sacrifice you at the altar of Nebraska football. But it needed to be done. Listen, we've done our part. We've given Michigan far too much for far too long. We've allowed them to think and forget who Nebraska football is. Sorry, Michigan. It could have been Michigan State, could have been Maryland, could have been Wisconsin, could have been Iowa. Cool. Unfortunately, it's Michigan. You're a pothole. You're a stop. You're a road sign on the way to something bigger and better. I appreciate the fact that you showed up, that you brought people to the party. Thanks for bringing your girl. Thank you for spending your money. But guess what? at the end of the day, you need to get your butt back on the road to Ann Arbor, take this L with you. Take it with you, and then tell the others. Tell the others, hey, man, Nebraska ain't what it used to be. Nebraska ain't what it was. It's not what we thought they're going to be. We went down there, and them big boys leaned on us, and the fast guys ran by us. And that quarterback, hey, he's fully legit. Oh, and we were outcoached as well. That's the thing. I don't care about Michigan. I don't care. You are just a victim of circumstance, time, and place. Come take this L, Michigan. You can't spell Wolverine without the L.
Yeah. I can't like put it any better for myself, like, than what you're just like speaking right now. Because I 100% I would believe that Matt Rule kind of has the same idea that he's talking about in the locker room going into this game is we don't got to be anything special. I don't care who's on that other side. We're going to go win. And I think a Husker win today, first week in Big Ten conference play, it really sets the tone. Because I think in years past, Nebraska has struggled where maybe, there has been maybe a few games in the preseason non-conference where they look all that, the fans are excited, and then we get into conference and it's not what we want. But I think Matt Rule has kind of flipped that switch where he's like, we're into the Big Ten conference and we're going to show people we not only belong here, but we belong at the top.
We don't know this Nebraska team. We just met them. They don't know themselves. In the introduction, today's a statement game. It's a statement game. This is who we are. And here's the thing. Nobody has to like it. Nebraska gets to say who they are. And if they're the better team today, other people will talk about them. But it should only reaffirm what Nebraska has already said by the work they put in. The work's already been done. The work's already been done. The horse is in the barn, man. It's already been done. We don't have to worry. Listen, the film study, all the recoup, recovery, getting stronger, getting faster, going through the walkthrough, okay, checks and mental checks. Are we in place? Do we know what to do here? Do we know who's going to be on the field if this is the group we go with? In this package, who are we sending out there? Know why we're sending you out there, because I'm not putting in a third tight end for no reason. I need you to go out there and bang on somebody's head. That's why I'm putting you out there. Oh, you know what? If I'm putting an extra nickel out there, it's because I need an extra playmaker. So go make a play. Don't be the fifth and sixth defensive back out there and not make a play. You're put out there to make a play. If you're on special teams, it's your opportunity to shine. It's the only time all day a lot of those guys get their name and number called. So go make a play. Go make a stinking play. And whoever makes the most plays at the end of the game, all day, end of the game, make the most plays. And it's play by play, down by down, decision by decision. Just make plays. That's really the thing. If you tell me you got the best quarterback on the field, you got the best receivers on the field, we don't know if you have the best line. We'll see. You just need to be the best line today. You just need to be best line today. Best linebackers? I don't know. There's some folks looking over the Michigan sideline with a little venom, a little vinegar in their blood. Oh, okay. And if I'm an offensive lineman and I see a certain dude running laterally in Michigan's linebacker group, hey, man, I'm bringing receipts. Hey, bro, the bill comes due. You did us dirty. And you chose what you chose. You went somewhere else and you put on somebody else's gang color. And now you come back to my crib. You gotta pay. From whistle to whistle. Hey, young man, love you, respect you, but you owe. You gonna pay me today. That's the mindset. I'm not tiptoeing because it's maize and blue. No, sir. This is about Nebraska. 10 toes down, go Big Red, get a dub. I don't care who the victim is.
I don't care whatsoever. And I'm a firm believer that, all battles are won before they even get going. And I think this is a time where Nebraska, I don't think it's going to be their main motivation. I don't think their motivation is proving people wrong. I think it's just proving themselves right. When they show up today, they say, we belong, we're here. We don't care that you're Michigan. We don't care about what name is on your jersey. And, if Sharon Moore thinks that this isn't a game that he doesn't have to be at as the head coach, then
I told you they're not smart enough to know what they should be afraid of. That is a part of naivete bliss. Who is Sharon Moore? Wait a minute. Oh, He won a title because of the cheaters. He won the title because of the cheaters. Oh, do we trust him? Oh, okay. Biff Poetry, was Biff a part of the, what? Look, not afraid of none of y'all. You come to the crib, we brought 90,000 plus. We lining up for you. We waiting for you. 10 toes down, let's throw hands. Let's throw hands. And you're right. Don't have to prove anything to anybody but ourselves. And quite frankly, you have to already know. You ought to already know how this is going to finish. You've done the work. If you did your studying and you put in your work, you have an answer for anything that's coming on. You did not have to plan for anything you're not going to see today. And you're not going to see anything you didn't plan for. So now you just have to execute. And quite frankly, it is the choice. For how many ever plays there are, be better than the dude across from you. Each 11, be better than their 11. One at a time, make your play. Football's simple. We can make it complicated. But listen, playing at home with my people behind me, my girlfriend in the stands, right? I got my NL partners that hook me up so I can live better up in the stands. Guess what I need to do? I need to show up and show out. I need to kick Michigan's tail.
You couldn't have said it better. DP, final words for this segment on the A1 Ticket Pregame show.
Kick their blue-wearing tails. Take them gold britches. Dude, you come to my crib wearing gold britches. Gold britches. You wore gold pants. Oh, beat the blue out of them. Beat the absolute blue out of them. 4-0. Go 1-0 today. Doesn't matter how. When the final gun sounds, let's raise a glass and yell, go Big Red.
100%. Don't go anywhere. We got some more guys coming on. We got AD. We got Chris Raff in the house. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P. It's game on at Elway Powersports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Powersports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go.
Second half today. You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flags are underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Raising Cane's.
The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show rolls along live from 1040 O Street. I'm Austin Norman, and as you heard, the segment brought to you by Raising Cane's. Hey, football fans, this season, Raising Cane's in downtown Lincoln is the place to be before and after the game. Stop by 14th and P Street 2 hours before every home game for giveaways, good vibes, and their signature hand-battered cooked chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and, of course, that legendary cane sauce. When the final whistle blows, Cane's keeps the party going with live DJs from Whatever Collective and unmatched energy for 3 hours after the game. Big thanks to our friends at Raising Cane's. Darren dropped off a care package for us. I did indeed partake. Really appreciate him for that. 2 days in a row, I'm sitting in here with AD.
Yes,
and
sir.
for the second day in a row, I feel like I've been co-opted by the drive. We got Raph! Raffy, welcome back. Welcome to the studio.
Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. What
I
should I do?
need some more fire, man.
What should I do with my hands?
You should grab some Cane's chicken fingers is what you should do with your hands.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what they're there.
Yeah. Back. Let's go, Big Red.
Rafi, you arrived in about little after 1 a.m. this morning.
Yep, sure did. Made the drive from Alabama to Nebraska.
Nice. You and Mama. You and Trace made it in. You and Lolo and Link.
Ozzy, Link, Ozzy, Link. Yeah, it was a drive. Big ups to Tracy. Those dogs, they love their mama.
Husker fans love their football. Guys, I got some stats for you to go over. We'll start with the Nebraska end of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When Nebraska scores first under Matt Rule, Huskers are 12-3. When they lead at halftime, they're 13-3. Nebraska's down at halftime. They have not yet come back to win a game. Under Matt Rule's leadership, when the game is tied, they're 2-2. Okay, let's translate that over to the Michigan side of things. When Michigan scores first under Sharon Moore, who I know is not there yet today, obviously, they're 7-1. When the opponent scores first against Michigan, the Wolverines are just 2-5. Now, here's the other part of it. When Michigan leads after 3 quarters, they're tough to beat. 8-1 under Sharon Moore. When they're trailing after 3 quarters, they have yet to come back to win. What does that tell me? Nebraska needs to score first. Nebraska needs to keep Michigan at arm's length. And I'm not sure this Wolverines team is necessarily built to come from behind.
Go ahead, Rafi.
I agree with that. Let's score first and be ahead at halftime. And I think it's looking good. But yeah, more importantly than that, Nebraska's just come out. We made a big, talk about the special teams for Nebraska. I think special teams for Nebraska, I think that's the third part that I think can be huge for Nebraska today. Like a lot of people have been talking a lot about Archie Wilson and not seeing the field all that often. I think Archie Wilson is huge today. Put Michigan in their offense in bad situations. And then that intensity, on kickoffs, something, to bring not just the team, but bring the crowd into it. A big hit, just something that one of those, ooh, something like that, So I think special teams is huge for Nebraska today.
You look at those numbers, Austin, and like I said, those numbers are glaring for both programs on their respective ways. But I agree with what Raph said right there. It's going to be crucial for Nebraska to come out on fire, because this is a team that you cannot take your time getting adjusted. I said this last week, just open up. It's like when you get in a cold plunge or a very cold water for the first time. You take that big breath, but you can't wait a quarter to get acclimated. Nebraska has to adjust quickly because they're going to get hit harder. It's going to be a more physical game that they've faced thus far. So that's something they're going to have to get acclimated to rather quickly and score quickly. And like I mentioned before, Raph, whether you were listening when you're down back in Bama, Nebraska is going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial for them to score in the red zone. And I'm talking like when you're at the 15, the 10, we have not done well in that particular part of the field. We've gotten down there, but we got to score in there because, like I said on yesterday and Monday as well, Austin, is that, if you get up 6-0, 2 field goals, that's not scaring anybody.
Well, I take a line from you. Nebraska has had the tendency early part of this year to when they get inside the red zone, they play with their food.
They play with their food.
They've got to come. They've got to have a plan. They've got to come out and execute. But I keep on thinking to myself that those 2 games, very vanilla, that you've got to think that they've got something up their sleeve to where, and and if they run, like the tush push, I mean, they've got to execute it. It can't be kind of half there, half not. I mean, it's got to be executed, 100%. I think that was the one thing that when they ran the what do they call it? The Heinrich Harbor, they had some name for him too.
Some package they had for Heinrich.
But they've got to execute it right. The person pushing, it's got to all be one simultaneous act and stay low. It just looked like he kind of popped up too soon.
Austin, when you see those numbers that you just read off, in particular the one to where Michigan has not come back from behind yet, what does that say to you?
I think that tells me Colorado from last year's kind of the script, but it's not going to go that way. Michigan's not going to come out, throw the ball around the yard like that. I don't anticipate.
I hope they do, because that's our advantage.
It sure seems like it would be. And maybe they found something on film, but I think that's unlikely, I think, at best. What it tells me is that there's going to be really 3 moments of the game Nebraska needs to win. It's great if Nebraska comes out like gangbusters, goes up 14-0, then Michigan settles in, but then there's still a long way to go.
Right.
Okay. You got to come out with that emotion, that fire, pants on fire, whatever you want to call it. Play, your best football at the beginning of the game, but then don't give Michigan life heading into halftime.
Right, exactly.
We've heard that the last couple of weeks from Matt Rule as well. Finish the first half well. A lot of people would say win the middle 8, Jay Foreman would say win the middle. 12, whatever your time frame of the game is. But then so many times in these games, Nebraska's started slow. So many times in these games, Nebraska's started fast, but not fast enough.
Not sustainable.
They've gotten out to a 6-0 lead or a 10-0 lead when they had a chance to make it 14 or 17. Yep. And then when you make it that full 2 possessions or even a 3-possession game, that's when the other team gets in panic mode. We still don't know if this Nebraska team is good enough to put other teams in scrap the game plan mode. I don't think Michigan's going to be afraid if Nebraska gets up 14-0 or 10-0. Oh, we got to change it. It's not working. Because what is Nebraska still proving to the country? That it can't finish. To themselves, absolutely. Yeah. Nebraska needs to prove that it can be in a tight game late. And again, they've done it a couple times. Boston College for the bowl game, and then Cincinnati in week 1. So the Huskers are certainly improving in that facet, but they haven't done it against a Big Ten team and not against a program with the recent pedigree that Michigan has. So it's great if Nebraska starts fast. I think that's going to be a key element. But just because Nebraska starts fast, that's not going to put the game away. It's going to take 4 quarters to beat Michigan.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I even last year, like talking about the whole chasing 3 thing, I was like, no, don't. I mean, I get it. I understand. But I'm thinking to myself, no, put these teams away. Get up. Even like that Cincinnati game to start the season. I think Nebraska had their opportunities to get up, to put them in that, to change their game plan mode. And Nebraska was unable to do that. I mean, this is one of those games for Nebraska. If you're able to get up by 14 points, sustain it. Don't let them play themselves back in the game. Don't let the ghosts of yesteryear creep up, shut the door on them.
The start of this game, there's something Abdul Muhammad said to us, to our whole entire locker room. One of our themes was tired of getting stepped on.
Yeah.
This team has to get to the point you're tired of getting stepped on. And that's the thing about it, up early kind of reading, obviously the things on social media, et cetera. But there got to come to a point where the team, those guys in there got to look at each other. And like I said, the coaches can say all they want to say. But when people talk about building culture, I think it's a term that's thrown around very loosely with a lot of different interpretations. Here's the main thing. Championship cultures are built when peer-to-peer hold each other accountable.
Exactly.
That is how championship cultures are built. Because the last thing you want to do is look your teammate in the eye knowing that you didn't leave it out there. And a term I always like to say is wring the rag.
Yep.
You should be able to look yourself in the mirror after every play and say, did I give my full maximum effort? Every play. No plays off. And it's got to be a peer to a peer looking you in the eye and say, that's not how we play at Nebraska. Because if they do it like they have in the past, you'll get the same results you have in the past. These guys right now have a prime time opportunity. Yep. Now, I'm going to say this just kind of as a disclaimer. If, heaven forbid, you lose this game, the season's not over, first of all. You got an 0-2 Notre Dame team. Now, granted, they lost A&M at home in Notre Dame. I get that. However, what I'm simply saying is you worry about now, this moment, you're at home. National televised audience is on you. If you want to get respect, you take it.
Yep, exactly.
You go out and take it. Yep. Because I've heard about this. Oh, the maize and blue. Look at that tradition. We got 5 national championships as well.
Yep.
They have to believe it's in their pedigree and say, you know what? When we put on this helmet, you have this in on the side of your helmet, on your jersey. You have 80,000 plus fans literally seething for you to do it. But it can't be about the 80,000 fans. It's got to be about the 105 in that North locker room that says, you know what? We are not going to lose today.
Yep.
Come hell or high water, we're going to find a way to win. You have an 18-year-old quarterback coming in here. You see what Oklahoma did. Now, people say, well, that's Oklahoma's defense. This is why the Trents, the Deshaun McCullers, this is why Keona came back. No warranty made the change back. This is why you have a very seasoned secondary. Sayer, right? I told you about Sayer. We still haven't heard. People still don't go to site. Now play like it.
Like even like the talk of Wink Martindale. Like, hey, Wink Martindale, he changes, the coverages on the backside and stuff like that. Well, we got John Butler that, a pretty decent coach for the Buffalo Bills. So it's the same thing. And I think this is the same. This is probably the first year in a while that when you look at the rosters, is there a talent disparity between Nebraska and Michigan?
Not like 2023, but
yeah, but in previous years, we've looked at it that way. We've been like, well, we don't have the talent to match up with Michigan at the end of the day.
Now.
But I really think Nebraska's at that point now where I think they match up with Michigan.
In Austin and Raph, and Nick mentioned this, and Austin, you and the Black Shirt, you and Jay have mentioned this too, the Hall of Famer. When is it going to be time if it's not this time?
Exactly.
Fellas, we could be old men like me and Raph are. Austin, you're still a young guy, man. Enjoy this time. The thing these guys got to understand, you only get so many opportunities like this.
Yep.
Even as far as that goes, injuries, look at Jay Bonner. He's no longer even playing, unfortunately. You look at Big Mackey, injuries.
Yep.
I can go on and on. Fellas, relish these opportunities. Understand, they come few and far between. So what are you going to do about it?
Yep.
Let the chips fall in May, but you sure as hell better leave it out there today. There's no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you tired of people looking at you as chasing three and man, coulda, woulda, shoulda? You got to start taking that personal as hell.
I even laughed, I was listening to Will Compton, and Will Compton was talking about how, the older teams would kind of maybe look down on us a little bit. Well, go out and take it. Today, go out and take it. Then those older teams, because that was the thing that kind of struck me when he was being interviewed. It was like, I always felt like, when we were playing that those older teams kind of, because so what? Well, go out and take it. You have your opportunity today. And just the culture, the buzz, Nebraska football right now, you think it's on the upswing, but Nebraska and Lincoln and the state, how crazy it can get if you win a game like today.
You're never guaranteed to win. Never.
No,
not even against Akron and Houston Christian. There's until those clocks strike quadruple zeros, nothing's guaranteed. If you're only going to show up to play in the games that you're all but guaranteed to win, are you really a competitor? This ought to be a tight game. This ought to be a close game. I still don't think, maybe this is, me in denial. And if it is, please put me in my place. But I don't think Nebraska has been that much worse than some of the big name teams on its schedule in years past. Certainly outmatched, certainly outclassed, but not 56-7, not 45-7. Those games, sure, maybe they're still going to be double-digit wins, maybe 20-point wins. But they shouldn't have snowballed into 30, 40, 50-point wins by any stretch of the imagination. At the very least, at the bare minimum, this needs to be a good game from Nebraska. Like you said, AD, let the chips fall where they may. If you do your job every snap to the best of your ability, odds are good you're going to like the way the scoreboard reads at the end of the game. But here's the thing. It's not guaranteed. But the only way that you're going to make the 95 team proud is if they can see that you're out there putting it all out on the line, that you played good football, maybe just wasn't enough. And that'll tell you, hey, there's still more we can do to get better. Nebraska's not guaranteed to beat Michigan. No. Michigan's not guaranteed to beat Nebraska. This is the type of game that feels like a coin flip between two programs in, similar positions record-wise, similar, different paths on the trajectory. Michigan maybe a little on the down, Nebraska maybe a little bit on the way up. But these are two programs in a similar enough position that this is going to be one of those games Matt Rule says, I expect every game to be 17-16. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
The goal is to make it worth it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys, I'm going to ask you this. We got a few more minutes before break. You think about the quarterback matchup. We'll get to the running backs and the strengths and weaknesses, et cetera. The quarterback matchups, what concerns you the most? And I know we talked about this a lot. The most about Bryce Underwood, Rav?
Just the mobility factor, which it's given Nebraska fits in the past. But I spoke about a little bit earlier in the week. I've got to believe that they probably used a little TJ Lateef in practice just to emulate his mobility. So I think that was huge just from the TJ Lateef aspect of it. But I really think that the mobility, Nebraska's got to stay, they got to be aggressive, but they can't get out of kilter. They can't be, losing their assignments. Play assignment football, play aggressive assignment football, but you just can't. You don't want to be put out on an island with him because what he brings to the table athletically.
Let me cop out and say what worries me the most about Bryce Underwood is the pieces around him. Because if Michigan's able to, John Butler said this, if they're able to be 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, 3rd and manageable, that's when all that is on the table. Nebraska's got to earn the right to get after him. Nebraska's got to earn the right to rattle him. Yeah, good athlete, good player. Nothing Nebraska hasn't seen before. Nothing, anyone on Nebraska's team hasn't seen before. He's good. Is he otherworldly? Is he transcendent? No, not yet necessarily. But he's also not going to walk in rattled. Crowd is what it is. I'm not trying to dissuade Husker fans or anything, but the way that you make Bryce Underwood look like a freshman is to put him in positions that make seniors uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. And this is where, too, you look at it, too. This is in past times. I'm having flashbacks to the anointments of the great player, Gus Johnson. We're singing the next. And, today, Brad Nestor, we're singing this. it's got to be the day where maybe it's Dylan Raiola. Look at this. I want our guy to be spoken about. It seems like every time, even when we played USC last year, and was it Maeva had to get or whatever, and it was like, he's the, so I want one of these games to where it's going to be, they're talking about the Nebraska quarterback.
They have the moment right here, you guys. The moment is right in front of them. The crowd, I think, is going to play a huge factor in this
Needs
game.
to.
I agree.
It absolutely must. And I'm going to say, if you're listening and you're heading down to the stadium right now, make as much noise you can, because again, this kid has been talking about Bryce Underwood, of course, number one top quarterback recruit in the country a year ago. But understand, he was still playing in high school stadiums a year ago. Exactly. Now, obviously, Norman gave him a very rude awakening to big-time college football. We want to duplicate that environment at Memorial Stadium. All right, that's going to be key. And I think if you can keep them off schedule because of noise, false starts, having the clock tick out, get them out of their flow. And you can do that simply. And obviously, all teams have their, their hand motions and things like that, signals from the sideline. But man, if you're in a raucous, rowdy, crazy place, man, it causes confusion. I want Nebraska fans to be as loud as possible. Blow that place away. Now, Arrowhead kind of because of the structure, it complements that more. But I'm telling you, make that place shake, man. Make that place shake.
Needs to happen. We got just about a minute left here. Once again, want to thank our great friends down at Raising Cane's. Hey, football fans, this season, Raising Cane's in downtown Lincoln is the place to be before and after the game. Stop by 14th and P Street 2 hours before every home game for giveaways, good vibes, and their signature hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that legendary cane sauce. And when the final whistle blows, Cane's is keeping the party going with live DJs from whatever collective and unmatched energy for 3 hours after the game. That'll do it for me. I'm going to get out of the way of the drive crew. I got to head over to the stadium.
Yeah.
You fellas hold it down. I'll get out of your hair or lack of hair. Nothing personal.
Oh, wow.
We'll be back.
Make
More
those
A1
follicles stand up, baby. All
show
three of
after
them.
this.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sat Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sat Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sat Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit satbros.net today. Sat Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Nebraska fans, it's game day in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball, with every game on, every screen, all day long. Today, they're bringing the party with Sidetrack Band all day long, and no drinking on grounds takes over tonight. Doors open bright and early at 9 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going strong with the full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, bands, good food, and drinks.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Currency.
All right, everybody, we're back again. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show for Michigan. This segment is proudly sponsored by Currency. Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options at Currency, hiring full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, and other fields. Apply today at gocurrency.com. Thank you for sponsoring. We appreciate it.
Folks, we are back. We are just about an hour away from kickoff. Nationally televised game, as you know. If you're heading to the stadium, O Street right now is absolutely packed. It's like that song, man, back in the day, man, by our band Phil Collins. You can feel it in the air, man. Yes. You can feel it in the air.
I thought you were going to sing it.
Yeah, I'm going to save them. I'm going to save them.
I can feel it.
Right, was like, well, I'm going to sing it.
I'm back.
They're like, no, my eardrums again.
Go back to Alabama. Do not sing. Do not pass go.
You can feel it in the air, that's for sure. There's a lot of Michigan fans down here as well, which is great to see. Of course, Nebraska dominates this as far as crowd, folks coming in, ready to go to the game. It's just a different feel down here. Now, Harrison, you said you felt it even Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday, I'm seeing the blue down here. I was surprised, like even Thursday night, I saw quite a few Michigan fans, and then even Friday, you can imagine it piled up. And then I always get a good vibe on how intense the game's going to be on my drive into work and how long it's going to take me to get to my garage. Yeah. It took me a long time today. So I know it's packed here in Lincoln. People are fired up, ready to go.
What time did you leave?
I left. It would have been around like 10:30. So, but give or take, it's already that main highway coming in where between Pinnacle Bank, Memorial Stadium, you just end up landlocked there.
Yo, you're sitting there for a while. You're
So
sitting there
it was
for a
packed.
while.
Good sign.
Well, you can tell by just even when the traffic light changes here on O Street and there's still the backlog that's going on. It's a lot of people, a lot of things popping and happening. So it's a great feeling here. It's a great time to be at Memorial Stadium. Professor Rick, that was you that walked by a little ago. I appreciate you. It's good to see you as well. Go Bit Red, go the ticket. Professor Rick, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Jay in Colorado, brother, I'm juiced right with you, brother. I am ready to run through a wall, but my back would not permit that at this moment. I can assure you that. Raph, going back into the game, kind of between the yardage markers, etc. How important will it be for Nebraska when to line of scrimmage in early downs? You know, if Nebraska can consistently convert, those first and second downs, set up manageable third downs, how crucial is that for Raiola and Holgerson and the rest of those guys to stay on schedule?
It's huge in football altogether. Like if you're 2nd and 4, you have options. You can throw the ball, you can pass, you can throw, you can run. But if you go back and you're behind the chains, and like they've made talk of Wink Martindale. I mean, he's Ravens defense coordinator. He was even the Broncos defense coordinator for a year. But if you get behind the chains with him as defense coordinator, he's going to make things tough. But Nebraska, well, I think another thing that I think's not got a lot of talk about either is Emmett Johnson's basically had the last couple of weeks off a little bit, eating some hot dogs on the sideline, doing his thing. He's got some fresh legs today. So I'm looking forward. If Emmett Johnson has a big game, if Emmett Johnson goes for over 85 yards today, Nebraska wins.
I like it. What do you think, Harrison? How critical is it for Nebraska on the line of scrimmage and early downs, man?
I think it's huge. It's been the problem for, I think, Nebraska for the past few years, but you can even go on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. But offensively, that's where Dylan Raiola's midseason struggles really came. When we got to the Big Ten, and all of a sudden Dylan Raiola is working a lot more from like 3rd and long as opposed to staying on track 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. And that's just the type of game where Dylan Raiola, he's grown in his development. So if we can just keep him right on time with the chains, he's got enough, weapons on this offense that I like our offense against these guys. If we can stay on track and we can really utilize our weapons, Dylan Raiola is an accurate quarterback. You put Dylan Raiola in a good situation, he's proven that he's going to deliver.
Ralph, for Nebraska starting out, this is just kind of a question to toss in the air. We win the coin toss. I'm going to ask both of you this. Text line texting as well. Text line 402-464-5685. Ralph, are you punting, kicking off, or are you going to delay? Wait until the second half?
Oh, man.
You guys weren't expecting that one.
Oh, gosh.
What do you do?
This is a tough one. My coaching says I'm deferring, but my heart is saying, let's take the ball and score and set the tone right away.
What would you do, H-Bomb?
I'm going to take the ball.
Defer.
Taking the ball?
I'm taking the ball.
Yeah, I'm deferring. If Bryce Underwood thinks if they want, I don't know, whatever they decide to do, I'm gonna let the crowd roll with what we got. I'm always going to defer.
I mean, my coach says defer.
Yeah, and that's where
my heart is saying, let's take the ball and punch him in the mouth right away and let them know it's going to be a 60-minute ball game.
I think what I would do in this situation, I would defer as well. And here's why. You can punch him in the mouth by punching them
defense,
early and kind of get settled in the game. I'm not opposed either, but I would defer. Maybe that old school T.O. thought, you defer to the second half, guys. Fill things out a little bit. Let defense. But, I can see why you would, Rap, because right away.
Part of me is like, let's just get the ball and score.
But you know what? I'll bring you back to the story of Corey Schlesinger, Orange Bowl. You can set the tone on the kickoff, regardless if you decide to defer or receive. Knock somebody out. You know what I'm saying?
Poor guy set the tone and no one knew it.
Corey Schlesinger literally said, I'm going to knock somebody out. And then he did.
Did you ever hear that story?
I don't think I ever got the full story. No.
He said he was going to knock someone out. End of the game came, he scored the 2 touchdowns, a big game for him. And he thought all they'd be talking about in the locker room was that kickoff where he knocked the guy. No one knew about it. So, and then he went back and said, hey, go back and watch it. And he absolutely levels this Hurricane dude.
Knocked a guy out. And he said he was going to do it.
Yeah, called a shot.
Called it. And Ralph, that's what we talked about earlier. This team has an opportunity to say, I don't care who we're playing. But you know what, Ralph? Us talking heads, we're going to have no impact on the game whatsoever from a microphone. They have to believe that, Harrison.
Exactly.
They have to believe that they can control the narrative of this game because they can. The question is, will they? That's the question right there. Will they control the narrative by the pads popping? Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to set the tone. Regardless if they receive, regardless if they defer, that's what's going to set the tone. The moment that ball is whistled in play, you can set the tone right there. You can make a statement and say, you know what? This is the team, the Nebraska team, that your daddy grew up watching.
Oh,
This ain't the one that you
Michigan
grew up.
fan.
Yeah, this ain't the
No.
one. There's a Michigan fan out there right now. How you doing? Keep it stepping.
How's
There we go.
How's 1997 treating you?
Keep it stepping. They have a chance to say, you know what? We're going to bring back, and you're going to have one of the, in my opinion, of course, some bites, the greatest team right there with you saying, you know what?
Yep.
Get it back on track. You have the opportunity right now, but they have to believe it, though, Raph. H-Bomb, they have to believe that because Harrison, if they don't, doesn't matter what we say. Here's reality. I'll say this too. Withstand the setback plays. There's going to be some big plays.
Yeah.
That's just a given. They ain't Michigan ranked 21 for no reason. And we've seen that with Justice Haynes, first play of the second half, down in Norman, Oklahoma. He braced one for 70-plus yards on their tail real quick. He can do that. But let me see. I want to see what type. We talked about Canelo and Crawford last week. And how Crawford was, I kept getting sick of Kalmane, whatever his name is, Kellerman. I don't know if Crawford can take the shot on the chin. He's got so much power. Yeah, you remember that, Rav? He kept saying that over and over again, Harrison. Nebraska, let's see what your chin's made of.
Smile at him with your mouthpiece with an N on it.
Yeah.
Well, I like it too. You hinted at it earlier, but today is about Nebraska.
That's right.
It's not about Michigan. It's about what can Nebraska do
right.
Well, this is like
to get on
one of
top
the-
of the map. And
one
it's
of
the
the-
same thing with Canelo Crawford. It was like Canelo, and Crawford the entire time. This is not about Canelo. This is
That's
about
right.
me.
I'm here.
And he went
I'm
out
here.
there on his business.
That's
and
right.
And got taken care
That's
of.
a great
Well,
point.
I think too, this is the first game where Nebraska's actually where there's no excuses. Like, I mean, even we'd say no excuses, but last year we had excuses. Well, maybe we're just not there yet. We have a young freshman quarterback. There's always some sort of excuse. Maybe our offensive line isn't where it's supposed to be at. And I think this is the first game to where win or lose, there's no excuses.
None.
It's, how Nebraska plays. I mean, it has a little bit of a feeling. I love bringing my Denver Broncos analogies. I know the listeners do too. But think about it. Think about it. The Broncos had lost 3 Super Bowls, and then they go and they play the Packers. And everybody's kind of apprehensive. Well, I hope Denver shows up. I hope they play. But that team finally believed in themselves that they were going to go out and play a physical brand of football. And that is what Nebraska has to do. They've got to put the ghosts. There we go. Husker power. They've got to put the ghosts behind them, leave the past in the past, and start to be the future. And today is the day where they take that step. If they ever want to get back into that top echelon of college football, this is one of those games.
You guys, one of the last things I want to throw you before we get to the breakout, we got a few minutes. I put in here turnover margin.
Yep.
How critical is that going to be today, man?
Oh, gigantic, because we talked about earlier, the crowd, turnovers brings that crowd into the game, getting the ball on the plus side of the field. Then that's when the red zone comes around. We cannot play with our food in the red zone. If they turn the ball over and we're on the plus side of the field, we've got to score touchdowns today.
Harrison, if we can keep them out of off schedule, and if we can pressure them, Underwood has shown they were 38% against OU. That was their worst.
I think he's 50 or 60% right now. He's not a very accurate quarterback right now.
He's not. And against OU was 38. That was the lowest they had since 2012 when they played Nebraska.
And then Central Michigan wasn't that much better despite the opponent.
Exactly. It's a great point. Exactly. A much inferior opponent, and they still didn't throw much better. If they can force him to throw into a veteran, in some categories, the top-rated secondary in the nation as far
That's
as
where the win's at for me.
Exactly.
DBs.
Absolutely.
Backside.
That is going to be the key right there.
Yep.
And to keep them off schedule. 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 7s, you don't want them at 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3s. No, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9s. But the piece of that, in my opinion, Harrison, you have to set the edges.
Yep.
And linebackers have to stay home. I wouldn't be, and here's the thing we talked about earlier as well. I would not be surprised if we've seen some things. Well, I'm not going to be surprised. I know we're going to see things that Butler has been cooking up that we have not seen yet at all. And I'm sure they have studied that OU tape as well.
No, and I think too, a lot of it with Nebraska is we've just talked about his passing percentage. So stop the run. I mean, dare him to throw the ball. I mean, that might be one of the avenues Nebraska takes is if you've got to put 9 in the box to shut that run down and dare him to throw the ball, and you feel confident, we've talked about Sierra Wright. We've talked about that. If they're one of the best defensive backfields in the country, let's put it on them.
Harrison, you think about our secondary real fast, and obviously you got Andrew Marshall at corner. You got Sierra Wright, who has
In fact, there were people, as you know, you both know, they wonder if he even made the trip down to KC because no one threw to his side. You got the veteran Malcolm Harstock. You got Marcus Buford, of course. It's rough. Deshaun Singleton. I have no problems because they have decent receivers. No one that jumps off the page.
We have, yeah, for sure, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And you have a quarterback who's not very accurate. Like you mentioned, Raph, I would almost dare him to throw the ball at times. I would almost dare him to cover your backside as far as stuff in the box. But I'm like, you know what? If we have the best defensive backs in the country, some of the best in the country, prove it.
I'm the same way, especially if Underwood, and what that broke open in his games is when he starts using his legs.
Yes.
We got to get a little bit back to that old school football. I'm not saying doing anything dirty, but there is a price to pay if you want to be the quarterback running around. And if they want to keep going for that, you hit him, you do it legally, but there's still a price to pay for that type of stuff. And then again, you can double down on really forcing them to go through that ball out there and challenge our secondary.
Guys.
Almost that time.
What's your score, Ralph?
Oh, let's go with Nebraska 27, Michigan 17.
What's your score?
24-27, Huskers walk-off field goal.
Oh, I like that. My score is 24-17 Huskers, folks. And here's the thing about Nebraska. Don't want them to finish. I said this last year. The F and finish is focus. It's going to be crucial in this game. A lot of crowd noise, but you focus. The I in finish, insane desire to win this game. Insane desire to win this game. The N, go to the next play. There's going to be some plays that it was like, okay, we forgot that. Next play. The next I, listen, inside job. You got to want this thing, man. You got to want this thing for yourself. And the S, stop blaming and complaining. There can't be any finger pointing. Point at yourself, not the ref. The H is the most important. That 1995 team out there, the best in college football. We can talk about the Miami team and the LSU. Honor that N. Honor that in, honor the legacy, honor it, because you only get so many times to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You only get so many. That in should just, it's something that the guys should get. It's literally have to make your blood curl just saying, I'm not going to dishonor this with a half-tail effort today. Honor it. Go out and finish. Nebraska wins 24-17.
And if you would like AD to come speak at your event, you can contact Chris Ralph at ChrisRalph7 on Twitter.
Let's go get it done.
Go Big Red.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Crinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Ready to upgrade your harvest lineup? Right now at Landmark Implement, get up to a 36-month waiver on select John Deere combines. That's 3 full years with no interest, giving you the flexibility to put the reliability of John Deere to work on your farm. Our team is here to keep your operation running strong with the latest technology, unmatched parts and service support, and the reliability of John Deere equipment. Visit your local Landmark Implement today or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Nebraska fans, it's game day in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball, with every game on, every screen, all day long. Today, they're bringing the party with Sidetrack Band all day long, and no drinking on grounds takes over tonight. Doors open bright and early at 9 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going strong with the full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, bands, good food, and drinks.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Select Plumbing.
All right, welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. We're just about an hour away, less than that, about 45 minutes away. Nebraska versus ranked Michigan can be their first win versus a ranked opponent since 2016. Tristan, I was at that game, had no idea that was going to be the last time Nebraska beat a ranked opponent all the way up until 2025. But before we dive into it, this segment is sponsored by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. And again, that is Select Plumbing, 402-542-5319. All right, Tristan, how's the feeling for Michigan today? I haven't talked to you at all throughout the week. Kind of what are your thoughts heading into this one? What are the broad picture expectations?
Broad picture, I think it's going to come down to who takes care of the ball more. But I think more importantly, we've seen it already a little bit with Nebraska's offense, is we get to the red zone, we're getting inside the 10-yard line, not punching it in. I think it's the big games like this where you can't be settling for field goals and you got to get in the end zone. If the offense can do that and the defense continues to do what they have been doing, I think it's going to look really good for the Huskers today. I think it's just going to be the little things, not making mistakes, and touchdowns instead of field goals.
Yeah, that's the one thing that gives me some hope is we've done good so far last year and then this year as well. Not shooting toes off, that's been a huge problem with prior coaches. From the Bo Pelini era to Mike Riley, then Scott Frost really got the worst of it. And a lot of it was his motion stuff, illegal movement in the backfield on top of the false starts. We've cleaned that up a lot lately, and I think you're 100% right. We saw a little bit in that Akron game. Your first two drives, you turn it over on the 1 yard line. I don't think Michigan would take a safety there. They might end up punting, but I imagine their trenches are good enough to at least fall forward and avoid a safety. Those are opportunities you got to absolutely capitalize in. Heading into this one, the spread remains the same. Michigan, it was 2.5 to open, is favored. It has moved to 1.5. And again, if you're looking at big analytics, ESPN's matchup predictor, it's about a 50-50 toss-up by about 0.3 difference there. Nebraska favor, 50.3% chance to win. The other thing, and it's obvious, if you've heard this point before, you're going to keep hearing it because it is absolutely true. Stop the run. Stop the run. Haynes, the running back, I believe number 22, he's an absolute beast.
Mm-hmm.
He can really, if you don't get the right angles on him, you saw it in Oklahoma, he can pop one for 75 yards.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama transfer, if I believe, and he seems like he is just fit into that Michigan offense. And Michigan's identity for years, it seems like, especially the past few years, is we're going to run the ball and win the line of scrimmage. And so it's just going to be up to Nebraska's defensive line and linebackers to step up and stop those runs before he can get any movement, get any into any rhythm. I'm curious what just kind of the game plan is with him and Bryce Underwood. I think when you have a freshman quarterback out there, we saw teams doing this to Raiola all of last year, is just mixing up the looks constantly. Don't let them get comfortable. Don't let them get into a rhythm. And when you do that, if Nebraska's defense can make Bryce Underwood uncomfortable and, kind of dominate that line of scrimmage, it's going to be really hard for that Wolverine offense to get anything going. And I think it's just going to, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong. I'm expecting a pretty defensive battle today going into this. I'm not expecting it to be super high scoring. Could be totally wrong, but I think it's just going to come down to the defensive battle and probably the turnover margin.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge. I'm expecting a low-scoring affair, to be honest. Are you in that same ballpark?
Same ballpark, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm thinking it might be low-scoring. And again, stop the run. That means Haynes. That also means Underwood. Underwood, you go look at his stats. He's not the most impressive passing quarterback, at least as of right now. His real strengths, kind of similar to what the Manning story has been, is when he puts his feet on the ground and he starts using his legs to really attack. You even saw that in Oklahoma. You even saw that in Central Michigan. He is most dangerous when you don't respect his run game. Again, just his 3 games against New Mexico, that was his best game through the air. 21 for 31, completion percentage 77%. You're good there, average of 8 yards, and then 1 touchdown, 0 picks. But in that Oklahoma game, 9 for 24, good enough for a 37%. And then Central Michigan, 16 for 25, which isn't horrible. You'll live with 64%, but again, after what you'd expect to be an inferior opponent, although it's never nice to, label those guys that, you're hoping for some more production out of him. And in that game, he had 1 touchdown, but he also threw a pick in there as well. But again, his biggest use is his legs. In that Central Michigan game where it felt like they really started letting him run, because he had 2 carries in New Mexico, 3 carries versus Oklahoma. Central Michigan, they get 9 and some QB design runs in there as well. And he racks up 114 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So that's what you're worried about with Underwood. I'm not so much worried about him throwing the ball down the yard. The biggest thing is, can we force him to throw the ball down the yard? And that's where you stop Haynes, you stop Underwood, and if they try to do these QB design runs, I mean this in the most legal way possible, you hit them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still part of football where if quarterbacks want to play that type of game, you punish them for it. And it doesn't mean you're taking cheap 30 hits, but that means if they're going to expose themselves to the linebacker or safety coming downhill, you have to light those guys up so they don't want to do it anymore. And then they got to start, diverting to, we got to air this thing out because our quarterback's getting beat up. And then same thing, if you can stop Haynes, now you're really cooking with gas. And I think that's where the game tilts in Nebraska's favor.
100%. I'm hoping that Nebraska hopefully has a spy on Bryce Underwood this entire game.
I think they would, right?
I think they would, because it's the worst when you're seeing a defense go out there and play and there is a running quarterback on the other side and there's no spy for him and he gets out of the pocket and he's just making things happen. And that's where he can extend plays. And then if you look at the completion stats, he hasn't proven that he's really going to air the ball out super well. And, we saw this a little bit from Dylan Raiola last year is, sometimes you, when you do want to make those big plays, you do a little bit too much and those can end in costly turnovers. So if you put a spy on him, we don't let him, run wherever he wants. We control the run game and we make him kind of have to air it out. I trust our secondary room to make some plays, create some havoc for Bryce Underwood. And if he can't get comfortable running the ball or passing the ball, it's going to be up to that running back to make everything happen. And that's going to be tough.
Yeah. And I do think it's going to be us versus Haynes. It's going to be the battle today, unless Underwood proves me wrong. And he really has a great game. But again, I think that secondary being the strongest part of our team, I like our odds there a lot more. If you guys want to join in, we only got a couple more segments left. We'll go all the way to up till 2 o'clock on this one. 402-464-5685. We can start rattling off what you guys have for score predictions. We do got Lisa Brown off YouTube saying, wish I was in Lincoln, was out of town all week and watching from Omaha, class of 95. Lots of those guys were my classes and would have loved to see them again and playing flag football with some. Yeah, and that's the other part, 95 class. You got to honor those guys. Yeah. I mean, that is best team ever in college football. There's a real argument to make, and it's not a crazy statement. That might be one of the best college football teams to ever play the game. And you want to honor those guys. You want to honor the end. And again, this is an opportunity for Nebraska, who 0-27. Sorry if you heard that stat 100 times by now, but 27 straight ranked losses, top 25 teams for Nebraska. You got the 95 class in town. Lincoln has been packed all day. I was talking about it with AD and Raph. I always get the sense of what is game day going to be like today based on my drive to get to my parking garage. It was troublesome today. Got here a little bit later than I wanted to, but it was all a good sign that this place was packed. I saw Michigan blue here on Thursday night already. Friday, I saw even more. And then again, today, getting down here was a hassle, but in the best way possible, because that Lincoln is going to be popping off for this one. Tristan, what do you expect the environment to be? Up to Colorado standard last year, given that you had a night game. Crawford brought us out of the tunnel as well. This year, you have the 95 team. I don't know if they'll bring Crawford out because you got the 95 team. It feel kind of weird actually to bring him out there. But what are you expecting the environment to be like? And can it match what it was last year with Colorado? I know Dylan Raiola even put a challenge out there to the fans to make this place, like Colorado and even beat what Colorado was last year.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I was just thinking like how it's going to compare. And in my head, I think it's going to be even bigger. I know Colorado has been kind of just a little bit of a rivalry for Nebraska, just going back to the Big 8 times, and Big 12 times. But it seems like this is a game that really means a lot, because this game almost feels like it sets the trajectory for the rest of the season for Nebraska. When you have the hopes of, we look at our schedule and think, this could possibly be like a college football playoff team. Like we could be one of those Big 10 teams that makes it in here, but we have to beat those, teams that are at the top of the Big 10 right now. And this is where it starts right now. Opening conference play is a day game. I don't think that's going to change much. It's extremely lively down here in Lincoln. I expect it to have more hype and Memorial to be rocking even a little bit more than it was for Colorado last year.
Yeah, because Colorado wasn't ranked.
Yeah.
And it was...
I think it was more of a Deion Sanders thing kind of last year, and the hype that Colorado was getting. But like, this is a game where it honestly just means more. Like, it's a conference game, set the tone for Big 10 play, and Nebraska's had this circled on their schedule for like the big games so far going into this year. And I think Husker faithful are going to show out.
Yeah, the best way I can say this, last year it felt like we have to settle some personal business with Colorado. This game feels like this is all about Nebraska today. This could be Michigan. This could be ranked Ohio State. This could be ranked Oregon. This could be ranked Penn State. Doesn't matter what ranked team walked in here today. Today is about Nebraska football. Last year was about handling some personal business with Colorado. That wasn't necessarily, well, it did actually get a lot of the national eyes because a lot of people are kind of waiting to see if Colorado would lose in that matchup. But to me, I can't stress enough that today is about Nebraska. I don't care what ranked team walked in here. Michigan being in here is a great matchup. Poggi taking over as the interim head coach also, add some wrinkles there. Although I think he's actually been pretty solid there versus Central Michigan. I think in this game as well, there'll be an edge for Nebraska not to have Sharon more there, but I do think Poggi is going to be solid in that role. And on top of that as well, that rowdy environment, and it is beyond what Colorado was last year. I know they went down to Norman. I know they played Oklahoma on the road. I don't know if it's going to be like this, though.
Yeah.
And the best thing is this, I don't think they're going to be scared walking in here, but I do think they'll certainly be uncomfortable. And again, if you don't have your head coach there, we saw it with Houston Christian. We saw it with Akron, having to take timeouts they don't want to take. Having false starts as a result of that, you just can't hear the snap count and no head coach. Do you expect Underwood to be under some just mental mistakes due to just the pressure of the environment?
I think so. I think with a young, true freshman quarterback, it's about how quick can you respond from those kind of setbacks, but they're going to happen. And I mean, as we've seen, it was Akron, it was Houston Christian, but I mean, even Cincinnati's quarterback, no confidence at all. The place in Arrowhead was rocking. Memorial Stadium's been rocking. Like, it's a place where, like, even when you have the confidence to go and do things, like, it's still loud. It's still hard to get in a rhythm, get under control. And if, Memorial can continue to do that, and if the defense really slows him down early, it's going to be tough for him to get any momentum. I think it's going to play a huge factor in this game. Because, I mean, I haven't been to an Oklahoma Sooners game, but just knowing what I've heard about former players playing against Nebraska, they're like, this place is loud.
It's one of the cathedrals of college football. And you know what makes a church good? The followers. You need followers to fill that place up every weekend, and that is something Nebraska does better than the other place. And it is truly one of the best cathedrals of college football. That is Memorial Stadium. One from the text line here. Nick in McCook says, will this game be more of a physical or mental challenge? And also Big B says 20-18. Doesn't give the team. I'll assume you mean Huskers. But Nick and McCook's question, I'll ask you this. More mental over physical challenge today for the Huskers?
I honestly think mental. I mean, like you said earlier, the Nebraska, the last few years, especially in these ranked games, they've made it close. It's just been kind of that fourth quarter, those, maybe lack of mentality plays or just mental mistakes that have almost lost them those games, or those late turnovers. I think it's going to be all mental. If things don't go, the way the offense wants it to, or Michigan scores early, how do you respond? Physically, I think Nebraska is going to be prepared for it. It's going to be more mental, in my opinion, for them to be ready. If things don't go their way, how are they going to respond?
Absolutely. And we do got one more sponsor. I'll let you prep for that. And again, if you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. We're going to throw it to break after Tristan reads that sponsor, but got more scores, more thoughts. We got one more segment on the other side. That is the time to tune in. All right, Tristan.
Yes, sir. Shout out to our sponsor, EV Ride and Drive. Lincoln, get ready to plug in. Lincoln Electric Systems EV Ride and Drive is happening next Sunday, September 28th, and you're invited. Join LES from 9 to 1 at the LES Operations Center, 9445 Rokeby Road, to test drive electric vehicles. Local EV owners and dealers will share what it's really like to own and drive electric, costs, charging, maintenance, and more. This event is a hands-free, free hands way to explore EVs right in our community. Learn more at les.com/drive.
Absolutely. Shout out to our sponsors. Again, Select Plumbing and LES. Don't go anywhere. Me and Tristan, we got one more segment. You guys are welcome to join in, get in your final thoughts. As again, about 30 minutes away before we kick off versus ranked opponent Michigan. Again, be the first time since 2016 we take down a ranked opponent. Don't go anywhere. One more segment. Me and Tristan will carry you through.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. If I can have today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
Goddamn right.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Make this your best football season yet with help from Limitless Mail. If you're struggling with low energy, muscle loss, brain fog, belly fat, mood swings, it's likely low testosterone, and Limitless Mail can fix that. We've helped over 100,000 men feel stronger, leaner, sharper, and more like themselves again. Don't sit on the sidelines this season. Take control. Book your free consult today at limitlessmail.com. That's limitlessmail.com.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply. Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Need a tractor that works as hard as you do? Whether you're baling hay or feeding cattle, a John Deere 6M or 6R from Landmark Implement is built to handle it all. And right now, you can get 0% fixed rate financing for up to 72 months on new in-stock models. That's 6 years with 0 interest on the tractor your operation depends on. Hurry into your local Landmark Implement or visit landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by A1 Automotive.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment before we get set for Nebraska versus Michigan. Again, another ranked opponent opportunity to get a win and finally break that nasty streak. This segment sponsored by A1 Automotive. Always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L. Now at 5110 State Hill Drive. Again, 5110 State Hill Drive. This segment sponsored by A1 Automotive. Again, if you guys got any last second comments before we send things off here, 402-464-5685. We got about 20 minutes left here to break things down. We got Bill and Bennett chiming in, says, I just can't foresee Matt Rule getting out-coached by some schmuck named Biff today. Talking about Biff Poggi, the interim head coach, taking over. And I do think he's solid, but he does got a point there. This is a game where Nebraska should be favored in the coaching battle. And we'll just make this list here. Who's got the edge coaching?
I mean, I think it's pretty simple. It's Matt Rule. When I hear Biff, I just think of Back to the Future. And I'm just like, is this the guy that is coaching against? Also, I mean, you got to have a little bit of like, as if you're Matt Rule, you got to feel a little bit of disrespect, because didn't Sherrone Moore choose like, this is a game? He's like, yeah, I'll take my suspension for this game.
Yeah, because he wanted to go play at the alma mater. And you set it up so you put them back to back. You can make an argument about how it was nothing about Nebraska, but if you want to make some bulletin board material, you do take it as disrespect. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to a head coach thinking, all right, you think that you can win without your head coach, and I'm over here in Nebraska and I've built like this program back to what, Nebraska is trending up to now. As Matt Rule, I think you say, all right, we're going to be way more prepared. And it was cool talking to Todd Euler this morning. And he just brought up how in 95, Coach Osborne had them so prepared that it didn't matter who they were playing, but like they were like, we did everything in practice leading up to the week that when we got out there, we watched enough film to know exactly what the other team was doing. And we had the athletes, we were just better. And even that game against Florida in the national championship, he was like, we just won. Like we knew we were like, oh, we're playing Florida's national championship. He's like, we've been there 3 years in a row. This is just another game for us. And they showed that. So I'm hoping Nebraska can kind of have that little bit of a vibe where it's like, yes, we are playing Michigan. Huge game. This would be a huge win. But you're almost just so prepared that when you go in there, you just go out and ball out.
Yeah, I really make him regret the decision on Sherrone Moore. Like you got your head coach for your alma mater game. You take a loss. You didn't think you're going to need it for Nebraska. What if you take a loss here too? Maybe, you should have had the coach from Nebraska, because possibility put these guys on a rough 2-2 start. For Michigan, it was something they're totally unexpected for. I think most fans would be, knowing the hype that was around Underwood. Quarterback battle. Who's got the edge there?
I'm going to go with the experience. I think Dylan Raiola, we've seen it this year, compared to how he was last year. Last year he did get out of character just a few times, forced a few plays. This year so far, it's been money. It's been fun to watch him like take what the defense is giving him, and then he'll also take his shots and just show the mature athletic quarterback that he is. Bryce Underwood, number one rated quarterback in the country, coming in this year out of high school. Extraordinary athlete, but it's the games like this where it doesn't matter how talented you are. It's about how much can you handle the adversity. I think there's going to be a lot of adversity on both sides, and I think Dylan handles it much better.
I agree. Wide receivers.
I mean, Dane Key, it's hard. And Ja'Cory Barney, like it's hard to, choose anyone else in the Big Ten, honestly, over that wide receiver core, especially with how they've been spreading it out. Even getting Luke Lindenmeyer involved. It seems like Dana Holgerson has a great grasp on, the traits that his wide receivers have and getting them the ball. So I'm obviously going to be biased probably throughout this whole thing, but I got the wide receiver core for Nebraska.
Well, I'm setting you up here, and there's a reason for it, because we've gone through the coaches, we've gone through the quarterback, we've gone through the wide receivers. So far, all 3 point to Nebraska. Then you get to the defense. Secondary Nebraska.
I like it. I like them.
But then this is where the problem is. Trenches. Offense and defense. Is it Michigan on both sides of the ball for the edge there? Or is it split, or is it both Nebraska? What do you got?
Honestly, I think Nebraska's offensive line has been much better than they have been in previous years. But Michigan has built an identity out of dominating the line of scrimmage. And and I think they're going to continue that. And I mean, you have to remember, like, they still got they got 4-star, 5-star recruits on both sides of that line. It's going to be tough for Nebraska today. I don't think so much Nebraska needs to be dominating the line of scrimmage all day, but definitely don't let Michigan feel that they are dominating it. And because, I mean, it's going to come down to the run game for Michigan if they really want to win this game, I believe. And if they can handle it well, then Nebraska has a great shot.
Yeah, and that's where, again, we're going to say it over and over again. Can you stop the run? That's where this entire game, I think, is going to come down to Nebraska. I think if you're Michigan, you'd be foolish to do anything but try to establish the run as your first option to try to attack this Nebraska defense, seeing what they saw versus Cincinnati, even Houston Christian. Was it Evans, the running back for Houston Christian? He had some decent success as well. Every now and then, really kind of showing some weaknesses, chinks in the armor with that defensive front. Now, given we're at that point, third stringers, fourth stringers were in the game as well. Just make of what you will. And also, John Butler likely kept it pretty vanilla these last two games and maybe had some eyes on Michigan already. And then you look at Michigan, although they had Central Michigan, they had Oklahoma in the game before that. So maybe not as much time and eyes on Nebraska, on top of, again, no head coach Sean Moore. We got Old Dad at 34 chiming in here. Says Luke Fickell will get fired this weekend. They got the brakes beat out of them at home. And I'm not sure if that game's entirely over just yet. Let me do a refresh. But you're right about them getting smacked around. 20-3, Maryland leading.
Do they make that
Wisconsin
buyout?
Badgers? Yeah, I think they probably move on.
What did we look at? 31 million?
I think it's 31 million at the end of this year. They'd have to pay, and for reference, I think when we got rid of Scott Frost, it might have been like 15 mil around there. And I think we would have waited a day of 7 mil. So Badgers, they might have the money to do it. Weird that they extended him. I know I was talking about you, knowing that this was the schedule that you guys got. Some other games to note, it just keeps getting worse from Clemson. They lose this one. Well, not lose, apologies there. The game is delayed right now at the end of the second quarter halftime, but they're down by 10. Syracuse leading Clemson 24-14. TCU ahead of SMU in the fourth quarter, 21-17. Let's see here. South Florida, watch out. These guys aren't done. They are beating South Carolina right now, 56-7.
No way.
South Florida is legit. I know they took a loss to number 5 Miami.
Yeah.
But they're bouncing right back after absolutely just tearing down South Carolina and Sellers and Beamer and company, 56-7. Not even the fourth quarter yet. Just starting up here. So they still got another quarter to play, being down as bad as they are right now. Other games to note, you do got Oregon State later today, but those are so far the scores that are currently sticking out. You also got Arkansas leading Memphis 31-26, and then Utah, Texas Tech, low scoring game, 1 minute left in the third quarter, 10-3. What's more surprising? Wisconsin losing 3-20, Clemson losing to Syracuse 14-24, or South Florida beating the absolute brakes off of South Carolina 56-7.
I mean, I think South Carolina has to be the obvious answer. I feel like, can you remember another year where it seems like there's been quite a few teams with quite a bit of hype going into a season, such as Clemson, such as South Carolina with one of the higher Heisman favorites and Lenora Sellers that like is really struggling? I can't remember there being a year where like the top dogs are losing, this bad.
I can't. I mean, it's been pretty rough. Usually you get like a Florida State, there's one team in there, but you go look at what Lagway's doing right now. He hasn't looked very sharp.
No.
You go look at what Manning's been doing in Texas. And although they're not losing a ton of games, you're like, boy, when you guys start getting some of these tougher opponents, unless Manning figures out to attack with more than just his legs, you guys are going to have problems. And then you just look at South Florida. Give me 25 Boise State. Give me 13 Florida. Give me number 5 Miami. All right, too much. Give me South Carolina. 56-7.
Yeah.
Unreal. And then, of course, you look in the Big Ten. We'll see what Nebraska does today, but really you're just kind of looking at Ohio State and Oregon, and Penn State as well. You don't want to leave those guys out of the mix. And then Notre Dame, they started off
0-2.
0-2. So you just had a lot of these teams that people were really high. I was high on South Carolina. I thought Sellers was solid. I thought they figured out something despite losing to Illinois in that last bowl game. I knew Illinois was a good team, and they competed really, really well with Oregon. Shout out to the people downtown here, 93.7 the ticket. The people are fired up. I love to see it. We got a big game versus Michigan today, and you guys can always check it out. Post game, 1040 O Street as well. If you guys want to get on camera, we do got the sign out there. And let's see how much time. We got 10 more minutes left here, and you can tell the people are getting excited, and rightfully so. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line. Let's see. It is South Carolina, not South. Oh, what is he saying here? South Carolina. Oh, okay. That makes more. South Carolina State. That is a great correction.
Oh,
I thought it was just South
okay,
Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that would have been really bad for Shane Beamer. Wow.
Yeah, great correction there. That would have been brutal if I left people off of that. So it is South Carolina State.
Okay.
Okay. So
South Florida, still legit though.
Yeah.
I still think they're a good ball club.
Yeah. Good correction from 3616 there. Go ahead.
Real quick, who do you think is going to be that non-Power 4 school? If you had to make a bet right now, that's going to make it into the college football playoff.
Non-power school. Oh, this. You're kind of looking, if South Florida just keeps hanging on, I have to look at what the rest of their schedule looks like. They got a pretty good shot in there. Otherwise, the other non-power 4 schools, I can't really think of the ones that are popping up. The Big 12 has been more interesting to me. Forgot who's going to come out of there. Is there any schools that are sticking out for you?
I think Tulane so far has been doing pretty solid. I think they beat Northwestern week 1. They beat Duke. So that's, two kind of lower tier Power 4 schools, but that's still a non-Power 4 school that's winning. I believe they take on Ole Miss, which if they pull that one out at Ole Miss, I think they got to be the favorites. With South Florida, for sure. It's rare that you see kind of one of those SEC teams losing early to a non-Power 4 school.
And they got 2 ranked wins already.
So
that helps them out a ton.
Yeah.
And then their only loss was to a number 5 Miami.
Yeah. So, I'm curious who that school is always going to be. And then, you could say the same thing about the Big 12. Who's going to make it out of there?
Absolutely. And we got a shout out. It is North Carolina or Rice. Okay. Who do we got there? You got UNC or Rice is what the people are asking.
Oh gosh. I got to go with, honestly, I think Bill Belichick might be a little over his head with North Carolina. I'm going to take the upset. I'll go with Rice.
Okay. Taking the upset. He's going with Rice. We're going to go with Bill Belichick. I don't know what to make of that team. It's been interesting to watch nonetheless. Let's see. 5 more minutes left here. We'll wrap up on Nebraska versus Michigan. We got the people here. We're trying our best to multitask, Tristan, as we're running along here. Keys to victory. 5 minutes left. Give me 3 things. 1 on special teams, 1 on defense, 1 on offense.
Offense, take care of the ball. Score in the. I guess I'll give you 2. Take care of the ball. Score in the red zone. Touchdowns over field goals. Defense, control the run game as much as possible. They might break one. They might kind of have one drive where they just run down the field. It's how you respond. Special teams, similar, same page. I think take care of the ball and, play it well. When you have the opportunity to possibly pin Michigan deep and make them have to drive the length of the field, I think you take that opportunity instead of maybe, we're at the 50-yard line, 4th and 3. Are we going for it? I think you pin them deep. I think it's going to be a very defensive matchup. How about yourself?
Special teams. Just keep it clean. It's been nice to see what Mike Eckler's done so far. It feels like special teams are finally a strength for this program. We haven't seen Archie Wilson really hardly at all, and that's been a good thing. When we've seen him be kicking field goals, you've been liking the results there. Absolutely, I agree with the fan out there, as we were mentioning the Clemson game earlier, and yes, those guys are currently down. But you look at special teams for Nebraska, what Mike Eckler's done, it's finally a place of confidence. So I don't know if the real key is, I'm not saying we got to go be 100%, go bring a touchdown back to the house. Just keep doing what they've been doing. Keep it clean. I've liked it. The guys are gunning for return yards. I think we're ranked number 1 in special teams right now, given very early into the season. Those numbers will reflect a lot, especially getting to Big Ten play. But the key to victory for Mike Eckler is just keep doing what you guys have been doing. It's been really clean there. It's been impressive. You guys are making field goals. You guys are having really good punts. And if we can play that field position game with Michigan, and again, I think you and me are both in agreement, it should be a lower scoring game. You like that in our favor a lot. And if Michigan has some longer drives, you can pin them back in the 10. If they want to play that time of possession game and they got to go 40 yards just to end up punting it anyways, that plays in favor. We can start winning that field position game. Offense, block. I like our pass pro a lot. The pass pro, to your point, I think has been the most impressive part with our offensive line. We haven't had to deal with the front like Michigan's yet, but so far we've seen, even with Cincinnati, Dylan Raiola could set up tent camp. He's gotten plenty of time back there. Can we actually get the run block game going? Can we unlock Emmett Johnson? Because I think a lot of programs around the country would be salivating to have a guy like Emmett Johnson, knowing how dangerous he is. If you can block and not only that, really get to that second level, I like him in a one-on-one matchup with whoever's back there, that safety, or if it's corner, he's going to make that guy miss more often than not. So can you actually get that run block game going? And then for defense, go figure, stop the run. It's the same thing. And to be more specific, stop Haynes. Because Underwood, he's going to run, but I think what Butler will do, they'll probably have a plan for him, a spy on him. But if you can't stop Haynes, then it doesn't really matter a whole lot what we're going to do with Underwood if Haynes is already out there killing us on drives. And, just to put another caveat on it, don't panic. If you remember last year with Rutgers, the Manungai hype, right?
Yeah.
He was coming in here and everyone was Manungai. And he was pretty good in that first drive, but we settled in and the guys didn't panic. And it was a really low scoring game, but the defense deserved a ton of credit for just settling in. He probably got 90% of his yards on that first drive. And it was really impressive just to see that Nebraska defense not let a moment take away, what they were trying to do. They settled in, they had some bad angles, but the plan itself wasn't wrong. It was their execution. And sometimes that's going to happen when you're going up against a great team. And I'm not going to be surprised if Haynes breaks out, a 40-plus yard run. It's what do you do after that? Do you let that start to just kind of kill your own confidence, or do you settle in and figure out ways to slow him down? Those are my keys right there. Do you expect the anxious Nebraska, or do you expect the Nebraska that comes in there that doesn't need a whole lot of time settling in and we're just playing college football quarter 1, quarter 4?
I think Matt Rule has done a really good job of kind of lessening the hype, I guess. I feel like he keeps the team really calm and composed, and then lets them know, we put in all this work all week. We did all the study to prepare for this game. So when we go out, let's just go execute. I think in years past, you talked about Chancellor Brewington, always talked about how they always were super high, super anxious, and then the adrenaline wears off after a few minutes and they have to settle in. I think the adrenaline's going to be high, but this game is going to be won, I think, in the second half. It's just the first half, keeping it close, settling in a little bit. I'm really excited. If Nebraska goes out there and wins this game, that just sets the tone for the rest of the season. And this is where it starts. I think this is where the hype of Nebraska, the Matt Rule, building this program up, it starts today.
And we got volleyball as well. Yep. And we got the post-game show for football and volleyball later tonight. So let's hope for a Husker win. Score prediction, real quick.
Score prediction, I'm going to go with 24-17 Nebraska.
I like it. I got 24-27, a walkout field goal. Huskers win it. Then, of course, volleyball game. Be sure to support the girls as well. If you got to walk or stagger your way down there, whatever you're doing at Memorial Stadium, should be a lot of fun. And be sure to tune in back to us, 93.7 The Ticket. As soon as the clock hits 0, we got you covered for the post game, not only for football, but volleyball as well. Again, this segment sponsored by A1 Automotive. Appreciate you guys listening, and be sure to be back for the post game show.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water